Hello everybody and welcome on into the Aurora Overwatch Clash Grand Finals BOON1E Bowl for the Ryan Buendorf Trophy between the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters and the Canadian Crewmates. I'll be your play-by-play booner, play-by-play caster boonie, and joining me is going to be Guku, back off of that thrilling match we just witnessed a couple days ago. We're back to finally get our champion crowned of Overwatch Clash Season 1. How you feeling, Guku? What's your initial thoughts so far?
Well, fingers crossed this match is as competitive as the one we saw the other day. But what I'm seeing so far is I'm seeing one team with uncoordinated team icons in the server, and the other team has 4 Canadian flags and 1 mistletoe, which I'm not sure what the mistletoe is supposed to be warranting, but you know, I love to see some team spirit out here early. I don't know if the predictions are as even as the last game we saw, right? I think the Monsters are kind of expected to take this, to sweep this. They were one of the best teams throughout the whole league. Have they dropped like anything?
They have not lost a match, but they've lost some maps.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think Vind, the star of our last match, has his work cut out for him. You know, controller gamer versus Poi, kind of star of the show, Zarya connoisseur. I will say, I would love to see them just roll over a Zarya. I don't know if it'll happen, but that would make me very happy.
And we are going to be starting off on our first map. It's going to be Ilios. So, a pick we haven't seen very often, actually, heading into the playoffs. You know, mostly teams like at Lijiang Tower, sometimes some Oasis, but Ilios has been kind of a rare selection here. Of course, it is the Monsters' first pick in our best of 7. What do you expect to see on Ilios here that perhaps will be different than, say, a Lijiang Tower?
Well, so Lijiang, like as we talked about last time, is a very flat map. This map has a lot more abusable verticality. And so something like Monkey can work a lot better on this map than on Lijiang. That being said, I think Orisa is still just very, very strong and very, very good for the Canadian Crewmates to play. And we'll see kind of, I think Poi can kind of get away with more on the tank end, right? The teams, it's a very different matchup than what we just saw in that this is now going to become a DPS duo into a strong tank duo. So, or strong tank.
Overwatch, I mean, I would...
Overwatch 1 on the brain.
I would be excited to see perhaps, so, you know, 7 is not in on this map, but that, basically a Genji Smurf we've done, you know, we've theorized the entire season. Going up against this Photomaster Ferruto's DPS line. You know, I make fun of Ferruto's a lot. I give him a lot of flack, but he's a god gamer when he decides to be. So this could be where he clutches up. It really brings it home, but Photomaster, of course, the one to look out for. But like you said, the tanks are going to be the focal point of this match so far. But it's going to be the Zarya versus the Winston matchup here as we go into our first point of well.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the lack of the Sojourn here, but we'll see. Poi got it isolated early.
That's a very nice Mei wall. Does force out the immortality field from Strudel pretty early here. Now Ferruto's able to go pretty aggressive here on that Tracer. Looking for an early pick here on potentially a DPS partner as Poi is being kept up very nice right now by Strudel. But Vind getting pretty aggressive here. Trying to get some pressure in on the support line. Stop that healing from coming in onto Poi, but Poi is still alive and very high charge right now. Going to go down, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. But losing out on Poi as well as Skycer, it looks like the Monsters are going to be sent packing here. You know, we point out in our last match, oh, never mind, but Aurora Masters' walls have been excellent so far in the playoffs, but gonna fall down. The Monsters have point control right now, so they're just stalling for any potential progress they can get. And with Strudel coming back here, the immortality field is definitely doable. Sonic is back in net here. A source of Lucio diff early here. Vind tries to bring it back in the favor, but Strudel is still somehow alive. This man's ability to not die on Baptiste is incredible. It's still a very dirty fight right now from both sides, but the Monsters are counting out progress here. As the fight continues to go on, the Hook not gonna find anything. Never mind, finds Brutals, gets a headshot kill there as well. And Poi still up in this fight. The immortality field placed down by Strudel. The wall is put down by Photomaster. Almost has his Blizzard already. Might look to drop it down. Yes, he does there. Right in the main choke. They finally get Poi down, but 43% and counting, and it looks like the Monsters are finally going to lose progress, but they got what they came for.
I mean, that's just some rough cleanup on the side of the Crewmates there. I think the target focus maybe wasn't quite there. You know, warm up map. Great switch onto the Hog by Poi. Should be able to isolate and kind of take down Vind, stop him pressuring out. And they had to use 2 ults to win that fight, which is like bad, very bad, considering you took out the tank incredibly early on. So we'll see what happens going into this next fight with huge ult advantage on the side of the Marshmallows.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Vind whip out the Orisa on his next death to counter out this Roadhog, but we'll have to see what happens here. Sonic is on the high ground, looking to predict some pot shots in on the crewmates, but they do retreat a little bit. Early Immortality is forced out as well as the block, so a lot of sustainability is gone on both these sides. Boy, using that whole hog in the Lighthouse is going to get Fedora Master, gets Pneumonia's teleport out, and Skyster gets the high noon kill. The Casino Rush goes down, but the picks are already there. A stick on the point, but has the breather for it. Frutals just desperately trying to touch this point for as long as possible, get some extra progress. And now it's just Wiggle jumping around, and the swaps are coming through from the crewmates, but they did get the advantage of percentage.
Yeah, and they got out 3 ults there. I mean, they used, unfortunately, a couple for themselves. Also switching over to the Ana.
The Torb.
Which makes a lot of sense considering the other team doesn't have a Kiriko. As much as I hate it, it is a decent pick here.
The Torbjorn has finally been unleashed here for Fedora Master.
Yeah.
We saw it on Route 66. Got a lot of nice shots as well as the Molten Core kills. Boy, looking for a bit of a flank option here. The turret does spot him out though. The sleep not going to find anything. However, it does force out Poi's positioning. Poi's in a really weird spot behind him, but it's working. As Sonic now has this cross angle to work with his Roadhog pressure, they really can't do too much here. Poi is going to get inted up, but there's really nothing to follow up on that. The hook not going to find anything as Vind is there with the Javelin Spin. However, the Fortify comes in. The beat from Nutter gets launched into the air, but still gets up, and Wiggle is going to hit him with that Ajax beat, hooked by Poi, and now just the overclock coming in for Sonic. Ronic takes that space aggressively, and not the best look so far for the KD crewmates, coming off that emotional victory, but the monster's looking very solid so far.
It's a kind of, it's the classic, like, where are your resources placed, right? Poi is a clear force to be reckoned with on this team, and they have only been able to really isolate him and pressure him out one fight so far. He plays very alone, he plays very solo, and so you need to have that target focus and have that wherewithal to understand when you can punish him for that.
Now, what do you think about these swaps here for the crewmates? Like, they go off of the Tracer over onto the Sojourn here. They're keeping the Ana, it looks like, but Vind going back over to the Winston.
Yeah, and Poi switching back over to the Zarya because all he wants to do is play Zarya. And I think, you know, this comp coming out of the crewmates isn't a bad composition. I think you can really play kind of whatever into what the monsters are running, but you need to have that target focus, especially against the Zarya. So I want to see the Zarya getting isolated early in these fights.
And it was happening earlier with Fedora Master's walls, but there just wasn't enough pressure to take her down. But now, Poi having pretty much free reign of the map right now. Only Vind really shut him down. Frutals is forced to radical slide away up onto the high ground. Both positioning is huge advantage here right now for the Marshmallow monsters. And yes, like you said, the anti on the Skyster forcing Immortality field as well. Out of Strudel. So the crewmates are going to taste first blood as Sonic Ronic's going to find Frutals from across the way. And the DPS here for the monsters taking the fight to their own hands. And it looks like we're going to get a quick flip here over here for the Meltwater monsters as Poi, high charge on the point, being dominant.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of anti-synergy going on there by the Canadian crewmates. We have a Monkey trying to jump in and kill Squishies, while Fedora and Frutals are kind of just trying to shoot at the Zarya that's running them down. I'd love to see Vind switch his focus a little bit. Try to make sure he's using Bubble in order to isolate the tank or isolate the supports.
Slow Orb does come out here from Frutals early, but only really speeds Strudel's ult charge. Vind comes in for the dive, but the speed is there from Nutter, but never mind, Fedora Master! Fedora Master finds 2! The Torbjorn Specialist has been activated and gets the pick to start off this fight. Gonna place the turret down in that off-angle area, but now the DPS for the crewmates say not to be outdone. We're gonna get 3 picks of our own. Sonic Ron's gonna get a parting blow onto Pneumonia, but that's just a very sad send back to the Ana there. And with 34%, we are gonna get a flip here for the crewmates as now they have defensive positioning with the Torbjorn.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do against this composition. Just run them down. You need to just blow them up, and I think Torbjorn's a great pick for that. So, good for Fedora Master, getting to play his signature hero in the finals. Let's see if they can continue, you know, blowing up the other team.
Here comes out the window, a nice anti like you said, forcing the Archive field, and now this window's basically useless as Vind knocks him off there with the Primal Rage. So a very aggressive play here from Vind going in, isolates a couple targets, Poi is off the map with that Zarya gone. Yeah, it's just a cleanup here for Frutals, finds 2 in the shooting range. And yeah, Sonic is trying to radical slide up, meets the fist of Frutals on the up. And there you have it, the percentage has been matched and is now counting in favor of the crewmates.
Yeah, I mean, and in this next fight, you have Nano coming up to go into grab. There's not really a good grab target, I would say, for Poi. Like, you're trying to catch as many as you can, but I expect him maybe to just grab the Monkey and try to burn him down.
Moving up here,
We'll see,
we already have Nuttier almost to a beat here. Poi building up towards that energy with the bubbles, but Frutalmaster almost has the Molten Core. The Nano potentially invested in the Vind early as they start to rotate towards the point, but Frutals is on the point, just stoking him out. But we almost have, oh, there's 2 picks early here for the Canadian crewmates, and that might be enough. A huge anti-nade as well. Pneumonia has been, this must be a swap grab, if I had to guess.
It should be. It should be. I would hope so.
I'd sure say hope so, but I did want to finish up, you know, up on my boy, Logan, Pneumonia, back in the finals for a second time in his Aurora career. Hence some huge antis.
Yeah, and Poi, like you said, swapping over to the Diva. I don't know if it's worth even using Grav. You still get to keep 30% ult charge. So, I mean, it was very ambitious. And, you know, I think right here, you know, you're expected to win this fight if you're the Marshmallow Monsters. They have 2 ults. They should be able to win. Should.
Oh, but Frutals is opening it up with a nice pick on a Nuttier. They can't use that beat. That's a huge pick. Sonic Ground's going to respond with 1 kill, but it's already 2 in favor of the Canadian crewmates, and they have the Molten Core on point, so Fedora is still there in spirit. Poi tries to bring it back here, so it's a 2 for 2 on the point. Sonic Chronic trying to build towards his charge here, finds out Pneumonia, forces out the business on the point, but Pneumonia has on his tank. Then, very healthy, and here comes Wiggy Hook with the beat, but Nader responds in turn. So it's a very healthy, very sturdy, both teams on point. Pneumonia is still somehow alive, as Fedora Master returned with the turret kill on the Strudel. Pneumonia is still alive and gets to say Pneumonia! It's popping off right now, this fight. I mean, it falls very low now. Finally, it's going to go down, I believe. No, Vind is there for the save. Vind finds 2 with the Power Rage. And there you have it, 1-1 on Ilios. And it seems the response is there for the Canadian crewmates to shut down that Zarya composition.
The Torb is doing insane amounts of work right now. The Torb Sojourn, just sheer damage, being able to put the pressure on the tank in order to force supports and the DPS to make plays on the side of the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters is what won them the last round. And I think Vind is doing a great job of not overstaying his welcome, not overcommitting to things, and it's allowing his team to just roll. I think it's a great play from Vind again, too.
So I just love how absolutely low polygon this face is on the statue. I mean, it's getting replaced anyway, so who really cares, but moving on here, it's going to be the same look for both these squads, except perhaps more long-range DPS with the Widowmaker and Ashe coming out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the Widowmaker or Ashe. Your tanks seem to really want to play close range, and so unless you're going to consistently get picks, which we'll see, you're kind of just forcing yourself to take weird duels and weird angles. We'll see how they play
that
out,
shot on Nutier's rollout, so a good start there for the Widowmaker. Has control basically of this entire sideline right now. The monster playing this very slow, scared of going into Frutal's sightlines. Frutal's known for the Widowmaker play, and another huge anti-nade from Pneumonia as Strudel falls very low. It's a 3-minute anti. They do stay up somehow as Nutier gets that, I don't know, the amp it up. Healing on the team, keeps up in this fight, but the control of the point is going to be in favor of the crewmates early right now. Pneumonia, 70% array to this Nano Boost. Strudel falling a bit behind in this regard, but a nice dynamite here out from Skycer will force a bit of a slow play here for the Canadian crewmates, and Skycer finds an opening pick here on the Wigga Higgle. A good start here. Frutals really has nothing to say in this fight so far. Playing so far back with Zarya is taking the space around Mega. They can't really get the sightlines for this Widowmaker to work, as Strudel gets a huge slip on a Vind. Tries down now Poi, just melting down the opposition with all this charge he's garnered this entire fight.
Yeah, I think they fell apart a little bit there without that, you know, Sojourn damage coming in. Like I said, it's all about target priority, and Zarya should be your highest priority target due to the charge she is going to get. Poi is going to be using her bubbles incredibly aggressively and trying to force you to kill him. So you should do that.
Vind goes in here, but Frutal's just shooting up that bubble for Poi there. A 50% charge and counting. We'll have Graviton surge here soon, but here comes an early nano here on the Vind. Goes into the backline basically, except Frutal's gets the pick on the opposing hit scan. Nuttier flying so weak, he gets that the charge in the backline there with the speed amp, tries to get Poi in there to deal some damage, but doesn't think it's going to really be the case. But Poi is still live on this point and gets Nano Boost at 100% charge and has Graviton surge as well, but might not even need it. Just melting down the opponents right now. 1 HP in all of them, and now Poi and Sonic are going to clean up the fight. A very clutch nano from Strudel there.
Yeah, incredibly good nano from Strudel. Incredibly good positioning from Poi. He's just kind of sitting inside the enemy supports and saying, okay, what are you going to do? You have to kill me. And unfortunately, the damage output on the side of Canadian crewmates has just not been there this round.
I mean, now Poi is just 2-on-2 in the fight, and here come the crewmates returning to the fight. Vind does have this primary rage as well as the Molten Core, but they get the opening pick on a Wiggle Higgle. Not a good start here for the Canadian crewmates as Poi yet again is just pounding him in the backline with this high charge, melting down the squishies. There's really nothing done to respond so far. Strudel gets a final blow onto the opposing monkey, and now Poi just walking as Widowmaker with high charge. Pneumonia can't quite hit the sleep and just getting staggered out. It's one fight territory here, and it favors the monsters pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's not an ideal fight. You used a lot of ults. You made a lot of switches, and you have one fight left. We need some heroics coming out from the side of the crewmates here in order to win this fight.
Sonic Run, of course, has this Death Blossom, could look to spell the Death of Doom here for the KD Crewmates on our first map of Ilios in this best of 7. I mean, there's nothing really working here for the KD Crewmates, and Hagel just goes down immediately. That's both supports down. Pneumonia was closest to their ult, and is not going to be able to get that off. The desperation touches are there here from Fedora Master on the Soldier 76, but just can't quite get it to work. The Bob is there just for a bit of BM at the end. And there you have it. The most of Marshmallow Monsters are going to take our first map of Ilios, but it was pretty close aside from Ruins.
Yeah, I think the map they won because they were able to shut down Poi. They were able to, you know, really rush down the enemy team, basically play a 6-man style. If anybody remembers the old 6-man compositions, where you're just kind of running at the enemy team and trying to burst somebody down. And as long as you're doing that to the right target, you should be able to get the kill on the person you want. And then in Ruins, they weren't able to execute that same strategy. I think partly because they just didn't have that Sojourn damage coming in, that consistent high percentage damage. And also because Poi was positioning a lot better, kind of standing in the supports and bullying them.
That being said, we're going to go and head ourselves into a quick break. Don't go anywhere, though. This best of 7 is just getting started.
These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Alright, and we are back here with map number 2 of the BOON1E Bowl for the Aurora Overwatch Class Championship. We saw a pretty close map on Alio, especially the first 2 points there, Guku, but on that last point, it wasn't really the case. Now, moving on into Numbani here as our hybrid choice, we have some swaps. Kerbology comes in here for Pneumonia, as well as 7 coming in for Skycer. So, do we see anything different here, or do we think we see the Marshmallow monsters keep running it down main with the Zarya composition?
Well, this is going to be a difficult Zarya map in general. There's a lot of abusable high ground. But I'm sure with the way Poi's been playing, it probably can work. That being said, I'd expect more Divas, Winstons to come out here than anything, and that's the case we're going to see here. Poi's on Diva. This is kind of a weird map, and I've talked about this before. This map can be very, very snowbally, and so just unless you're insane at first point holds here, it's kind of a weird map pick. But I do think that Crewmates, it makes a lot of sense. You can play Torb, you can play your high ground abusable characters on Frutals, and then you're not really forced to do anything super creative or fancy. You can just sit on high ground with your Mercy Pocket, with your Ana, and just exist. And that's what they're going to do, it looks like. On the other side, Nuttier is kind of a Lucio player, it looks like, and so I hope they play a little bit faster here, right? You're trying to like do more of a divey kind of style.
How would you describe Nuttier? I think he's a Lucio player. Has only seen him play Lucio over 2 maps. But
yeah, you're playing Lucio on Numbani, right? Like,
that's good. That's dedication. I know what you respect that, Guku. But we are moving in here on this fight on high ground right now. Fedora Master trying to get a bit of an off angle here to put some damage potentially on Strudel. Goes for Sonic Rock. The dive is there. A well-timed dive. But just in time with that healing from Sonic Ronic as well as Strudel keeping the soldier up in the fight. Fedora Master just goes down immediately, and the sleep from Strudel as well. Strudel has been having a great showing so far, but just absolutely destroyed after a well-timed res by Kerbology. They lose on a couple members, but still a pretty even fight on both sides. If anything, the attackers should slow down a little bit, get a quick reset, and come back in. But they're dying pretty slowly.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a full reset from both teams. There's a little bit of disjointedness coming in from the Crewmates there as they dived in. You saw Fedora Master fly all the way into the small room to try to dive Wiggle Higgle as Vin falls off the high ground. I think you just got to make sure your dives are a little tighter when you're playing against, a Diva, because you need your damage to come in when the defense matrix isn't there.
Looking at what's building up here, Poyos has this self-destruct with Frutals close to that blade. The last band damage in that last fight, 8% and counting. Vin goes in for a quick dive up on the high ground, nothing really coming of it, but Fedora Master tries to follow him up a nice anti-nade onto Strudel, but Vin goes down very quickly as Wiggle Higgle cannot keep the tank in this fight. And now 7 gets to go pretty aggressive here as they clean up the kills. Kerbology is going to get the res onto Vin, but why'd you bring me back into this just to die again? Vin is able to get back with his life, it looks like, yes, with the bubble.
Yeah, Kerbology really seems to want to go for these reses. I'm not sure if it's fully warranted in both these cases, but hopefully this next fight, as they come up on their ultimate abilities, like Blade, like Nano, like Primal, we should be able to get a lot better of a dive onto Strudel if they want to do that, or try to burst down like the Genji, for example.
Look up here, looks like Peru's going for a bit of a flank angle here for this Blade, taking the low ground right now, but look at the ultimate here for the side of the Mills and Marshmallow. Here comes the Blade, and oh my lord! Didn't get to play the game, but 7 gets spawned up as well! So the Genjis are trade out right now, Nano's up on both sides, but a huge anti from Strudel. They can't Nano Vin to keep up in the fight, and Poi goes in for the aggressive dive to follow up on that, but that comes down to a huge anti-nade from Strudel at the end there.
And this is kind of the power of this first high ground here. They didn't even use any ults, right? They're just holding high ground, using the abilities, like their normal abilities, like anti-nade, like damage boost, and just kind of poking everybody at, well, not damage boost on their end, but using the ability of just sitting on that high ground and making it so difficult to dive. And that's kind of the problem here. Like, we need some hero plays coming out of the Crewmates in order to take this first point, especially into 5 ults.
7 is ready for this Nano, but never mind. Here comes a Nano Blade, looks for it on Fedora Master, but the Radical Slide keeps him alive for just another second. Wiggle Higgle is going to fall to 7's Blade, however. And then Nano from Wiggle, I don't even know who it went on to. Nothing really came out of it. Vin is going to get nuttier, so the beat is out of the fight, and the Resurrect is there for Fedora Master. So close to overclock here, potentially turn for the Crewmates here. If they can break buff the Sonic, Ronic has the Tactical Visor. on the low ground. Vind just pummeling people in the corner, but not going to be nearly enough, and will get staggered up for his troubles. It looks like Vind will get a pick in the last second, but yeah, here comes the cavalry as he gets sent back.
Unfortunately, they used Nano on Vind at the start of the fight there, and he just got booped off high ground and was sitting on low ground. And suddenly, you're a monkey, and you can't do anything. Switching over to the Doom, I'm a big fan of Doom, but I've never seen Vind's Doom. So I guess we'll see if he's able to get any last-minute heroics out of here. Fedora Master running in with ult.
He has the overclock, will get one first trouble, but the beat is there from Nuttier to keep the rest of the team alive here. Vind has returned on the Doomfist. However, the picks are going heavily in favor of the military Marshmallow monster right now. Crewmates trying to keep Vind up in this fight. Had to use the TP away. Poi using that bomb on the cart. But doesn't even look like his need as Vind is going to go down to the bomb. And there you have it. The military Marshmallow monsters a full hold on point A.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was talking about, right? This high ground on point A is so abusable that even if you're like one of the best teams in the world at this, which you never know, the Canadian crewmates might be, maybe they'll also get a full hold. It's just so hard to push, and you know, even if you're, you know, for all the good old PP folks out there, even if you have EMP Nano Blade, you might not get through it, and that's kind of the unfortunate reality that comes with this map. And we'll see if they're able to get the draw here. Moving on to the next map in a best of 4 would be huge for them.
I mean, like you said, it is also a best of 4, so you're not, if you don't get this one, you're not at death's door just yet. You have another chance to bring it back. So that's kind of what the advantage of best of 4 does. But as of right now, the Marshmallow monsters, just as it came to Ilias Ruins, have been on a tear. I mean, especially you know what, you're a sport player, you'll appreciate this. Strudel has been putting on a masterclass.
Yeah, and the difference maker, right? Like the thing that separates good supports from bad supports, and not saying anybody's bad, is the ability to survive, right? I remember watching the first Overwatch World Cup, and Stir, the famous TF2 player, Germa's friend, was one of the support players, and he got trained up by all the professionals. And I remember the core advice I took away from that is your job on support is to live. And I think that's what Strudel's doing really, really well. He's getting value because he's not putting himself in positions where he can get dived by Vin, get killed by Fedora Master, get killed by Frudels.
And speaking of position to get killed by, goes straight down main, just runs it down, along with Poi, so there is some backup there. Sonic is alone right now, but looks to clear that high ground positioning. We'll look to claim it. Strudel is putting in some work on Crewmates. They're going to trade out supports here, so it's a 1-for-1. But Wiggle Higgle has found 7, but both DPS go down as well. So it's still an even trade. Strudel finds that sleep on the Vind. Shuts down that dive, but Fedora Master is still there, has a turret up, will go down eventually, but Sonic is now uncontested on his high ground, just pelting in some damage from up top, the RKO out of nowhere, except this was completely planned out, as there you have it, the picks are coming in, the tick is going to be claimed, Frudels is just desperately coming to touch the point, but it has to recall away, and that's going to be a 2-0 advantage here for the Monsters.
Yeah, and that doesn't feel good if you're the crewmates there. Not winning a single fight in the map that was your map pick, it's going to hurt, and this is really going to be the test of the mental on the side of the crewmates going into this next map pick. Again, they're not on death's door, but, you know, the mental battle is half the battle, so, or maybe more than half for some players.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what's going on here, but of course we are now at technically quote-unquote halftime. So we did promise a announcement for the league moving forward, so we'll give our players a 5-minute break while we go ahead and I show you my amazing SHIT post for this announcement. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hello BOON1E, back from my mandatory 133 days of monkey military service for the part I played in the Great Banana Trove heist of 2022. How has BOON1E SPN been since I left? Okay. Guess it's time to use that new black magic I picked up from my bunk buddy Dormanchester Richardson III. Yes, who can To pay for your sins you must now pass an impromptu vibe check, loser. You failed. Miserably.
Can't believe I failed, man. Damn. Frack.
Perhaps this random stranger who looks just like you and lives in your bedroom could be of some assistance.
Hi, I'm Ryan Boondorf. Do you know we have merch? Website says we do, and so do I. I believe that until purchased, every man, woman, and child in this server is dripless.
We've got everything you need. From shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, stocking hats, mouse pads. They can be printed with the league logo, your team logo, or even this new exclusive Aurora Esports Vaporwave Sunset design. Wowie wow, I cannot wait to consume product with my hard-earned dollars.
Better buy merch!
Okay, that was all the ad time that could afford. Back to whatever the hell it was you were doing. We'll see you all in Season 2 with BOON1E SPN Season 2. Aye.
And there you have it. We have official Overwatch Aurora Esports merchandise. Woo! Everybody, poggers in chat. But yes, it's finally here. The merchandise is launched. Of course, like you said, we get with the generic Aurora logo. You can get it with your team logo or the new Aurora Vaporwave design. We worked very hard on this, so I hope you guys all enjoy it. There's also a jersey. I didn't mention that in the video, but there is a default jersey. You can get your name on it as well as your number, or someone else's jersey if you want, because why the hell not? So, yep, that's all there. Merch shop will be launching with a Google form later this week, and hopefully be on the site soon. So, that's our exciting announcement. And after map 4, we are going to be doing the drawing. The first person, or the person who wins the drawing, will receive a free piece of merchandise or $20 off, because the shirts are $20, so basically you can get a shirt or below, or $20 off, say a hoodie or sweatpants. So that's what you all Twitch subbed and boosted the server for. So we will see all you guys after map 4 for that one. But we are going to be heading back into the match here. I didn't ask the team if there's swap or there are, so I'll let you go ahead and take over, Julian, and just talk about what you want the crewmates to do potentially to bring this back in their favor, because it's not reversed to a territory just yet. It is 2-0, but potentially they can turn it around.
Yeah, and catch me Guku 2K thirsting all over that Handsome Hogs hoodie, you know? I'm excited. It's going to be a fun merch drop. I think, like I've said, I think the big focus here for the crewmates should just be, you know, honestly, really basic stuff. I don't think your compositions are struggling. I don't think you're, you know, there's not like one individual player who's dropping the ball. I think it's really just comes down to they need to focus down specifically Poi and Strudel. You know, 7 might roll over your team some of the fights. That's okay. You need to be taking out the tank that is literally in your house, tearing up your sofa like a rabid dog. And that is kind of what Poi is doing. You know, it's genuinely the crewmates. I don't think they're Canadian. I think they're New York, and this is Ghostbusters 1. And the Mill City Marshmallow monsters are kind of rampaging through them right now, and they need to be stopped. They need to cross the beams, you know?
I did not expect you to bring in Ghostbusters into this, but you know what? I'll cross off my bingo card. We need to see something. We need to cross the beams. We need to do something extravagant here. We need to go the extra mile to potentially make this work. The swap is going to be going over to Rialto. Do you like that for our escort map? Do you like that selection?
I think Rialto might play into some of the strengths that I've seen from the crewmates. I think, now that I'm thinking back to it, I would love to see them go like Orisa or Hog or something different. I don't know if Vin plays Hog. I don't think so.
I mean, he's a console player, so I'm sure the hooks will just automatically gravitate to the enemy.
Or something. I mean, the issue that they're currently having is they're playing Monkey. And if Poi wants to, Poi can go Diva. And Diva does not die. Diva is an unkillable character. And this cannot be allowed. So I think it's really, maybe on whoever the shot caller is on the side of the crewmates to just say, we're going to play a composition we're really good at, such as the Mei composition, such as the, Rushy composition. And our game plan is to take the entire games on our terms. We can't allow the Marshmallow monsters to rampage through our city.
We're trying to hopefully get the R's from both these teams, but the crewmates too busy SHIT posting. But you know what? That means they're in high spirits. They're not down and out yet. They're still having fun in the chat. So that's you can't say the mental's cracked just yet. But I don't think it's possible to crack for Rudol's mental. I think that guy is just born in the darkness, born in the memes. He cannot be overtaken. The mental is unshatterable.
I mean, you gotta think you've built up a durability with some of the blades we've seen in these finals.
As well as the last match.
Yeah.
Have we seen Ferrules get a blade kill yet?
No, genuinely. I think like 1 or 2 in the last matches we casted. It's unfortunate. And I'm sure it'll come to pass. There's where we can step up. There's where we can, it's not about blading better. It's about blading with your team. You gotta get value from the blade even if you're not gonna get the kills. And that's where I'd love to see the coordination come in.
Accidentally clicked on the wrong scene, so you guys get a bit of a flash of the ad again. Buy more merch. That's subliminal advertising, but
I love merch. I love merch.
Are we seeing
what I love? I love capitalistic society and purchasing everything.
I also love capitalist society and purchase everything, especially everything on the Aurora Esports merchandise catalog. Hooray! We have a game to play. Sadly, we could just talk about merch for the rest of the 2 maps if you want to. What's your favorite piece of merch? But Poi on the
winner gets a piece of merch.
God, I can't afford that, man. I'm already giving one away.
Yeah, I'll purchase the merch for both. Anyway. Vind starting out on the Reinhardt. I mean, we'll see if this comes to pass, but that'd be kind of fun.
It might be coming to pass.
Teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Charging.
Oh God, it's happening. They're playing just the. They're copying my strat. They're copying the strats for the New York Newts. I can't believe this. We were innovators before anybody else. We played Reinhardt on Rialto. We showed no fear. We lost every time, but we played it anyway.
I was about to say it. I don't know if you want to use the Newts as an example of success.
No. We always won Rialto. We lost every other map. We lost 3-1 every single game, but Rialto was ours.
Yeah, and I think Reinhardt might be one of the more underrated tanks at the current moment. He can get stuff done. You just need to play around it, as Vin is unable to do anything and just gets burned down.
Fedora got a pick, so not the end of the world. If he gets Sonics as well, it's a 2-for-2. Dodges out that dive. I mean, Fedora's just spinning around in circles trying to freeze anybody he possibly can, but Skycer finds the head in that spinning circle. Yeah.
Well, technically, BOON1E, Mei can't freeze anymore, so really, he's just slowing everything.
Actual pointing upward Guku 2K sphere moment.
Yeah.
Poi is just trying to get out with his life right now, as the entire squadron of the crew has found him in the corner and pummeled him to smithereens. Strules does use Immortality as well, so he won't have that first incoming engagement here. The TP could be deadly here if Vin gets in your background. Both still playing a bit slow, just keep this high ground control right now.
They need to take position here. I mean, they're waiting on TP, so they're going to take this high ground. Oh my god, they're just running him over.
They're just pinning on cooldown, and honestly, I respect it.
Did they realize there's a Sojourn directly below them? No, they do not.
No, they don't, but they don Kara and dodge all the bullets, so easy clap. Pneumonia almost has this Kasuni Rusher. Poi, oh my god! Vin just charges in like a maniac.
Burn down Poi! Burn down Poi!
Poi gets him down, but really nothing to follow up. The Danish Kaiser's gonna find 2 with the dynamite. The Blizzard's there! Somehow Poi doesn't eat that, I guess. The shadow comes out from Vind as well, knocks down both DPS behind, and wow, they've not both DPS, but 2 people behind. And now it's just Skycer on the Ashe, desperately trying to get anything done, but there you have it. Just smash your head against the wall and it's gonna work eventually.
I mean, if you really think about it, Mei is kind of a beam, and Symmetra definitely has multiple beams, so they are technically crossing the beams.
Technically, you are correct.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct. You know, they don't really have like crazy amount of ultimates, but they do have Kitsune Rush. So if they're able to get a really nice Kitsune Rush, then might be able to just run over, get ult like crazy fast, kill a couple squishies. That'd be huge here. Just snowball through the second point.
Yeah, but they just have this high ground control right now, and the car's still pushing forward slowly, so they're going to take this every day of the week right now.
Look at this flank from Vin.
Oh, I see that right now. The Vin comes in for the pin, and look at Haynes Strudel, but I guess it gets him away from his window. But Poi is still there taking advantage of it right now. A great teleport from Pneumonia. Gets him at least 2 feet forward, but Sonic Round is there to follow up. The Bob and the Overclock are invested, so a lot of ults here.
Oh my God.
And Vin is just going... Nothing for the Canadian Crewmates to use in both DPS ults for the side of the Marshmallow Monsters. Not the worst fight in the world.
Yeah, and I like the way they're playing. You know, they're taking quick fights. They understand it's not about quality, it's about quantity. You know? And they're just taking a million fights. They're trying to use ults when they get them. Well, I'd hope they'd use Kitsune Rush this fight. And Shatter. And we're just going to see them probably ult dump and try to run down Poi once again.
Staying up us high ground, though, is going to be DPS here. They don't really want to do anything, but a nice wall out from Furls will allow the rotation to happen. What a prediction charge! Barely misses. The Shatter! I don't know. I did find Poi to go down. Because the wall, here comes the Casino Rush as well from Pneumonia on the low ground, but there's nobody to really go through it. Nobody's getting the boost. Fedora's going to find one on Nut here. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Crewmate's taking a position right now, taking space. Poi's going to get isolated, can't really eat the May Freeze. And here comes that Gravitic Flux from Poi flying so weak, but look at the slam down. Now, Poi in front of his Jounce tries to get something done, but is going to get frozen up.
Shoot Poi!
Shoot Poi!
He's still alive!
Okay, finally goes down because you're going against Photo Master and Ben, who you cannot eat. So I guess all is well, it ends well. Nuttier testing the skybox limits on the Lucer right now. But a quick point being captured. 2 fights there for the Crewmates, and they're pushed towards C with 4 minutes remaining in the bank.
Yeah, and Poi understands. Poi switches over to the Reinhardt.
Nice!
And which have a true man-on-man going on now. We'll have to start keeping track. As the double beam strategy is working. I would like to, you know, see if they can, I mean, get a pick. That'd be huge. No, that's crazy.
That's a great start, but a nice wall out from Skycer will stop Vin from going forward just a little bit there. And now it's just basically the Kiriko against the Ana healing here for the Reinhardts. Servo almost has Nano Boost, but Pneumonia able to cleanse and potentially do a bunch of things with this utility of the Kiriko could be a huge advantage right now, but going forward, pretty aggressive is going to be Poi. Trying to build the towards that Shatter. Vind had the Shatter, could to slam it down, gets slept, then Nano May on the point. Vind has the Shatter, might be looking to use it. Poi knows where the right hand is, but just dodges the Shatter because he just felt like it. So it is technically a 1-0 here. Or it's actually a 0-0 because he doesn't block it. So it's a 0-0 still in the man-on-man. Nuttier is behind, tries to hold the cart just a little bit longer. Brutals has the wall. Poi has the Shatter, but they won't be able to get a touch. And 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the bank.
Yeah,
as the Canadian Crewmates are showing life.
You may not be up in the man-on-man, but you are up in the spirits. Because holy crap, what a great Shatter from Vind. He's able to catch out
Sonic and Strudel, I believe.
Sonic and Strudel, and kill Sonic. Which is like the optimal value you can get from that Shatter, purely because Overclock, very strong ability, and you're just shutting it down. What a great play from Vind. I love the way they're playing right now. I think this is the strongest version of the Canadian Crewmates we've seen in the last couple of days. And I hope they continue to play this, you know, Symmetra, May, Ryan strategy. It's looking pretty good for them. And
just like Pneumonia says, let him cook. These guys are in the kitchen cooking up a 5-course feast for all of us here at the Aurora Overwatch Clash BOON1E Bowl spectator seats. And look at the swaps coming in for the side of the other team. Milsim Marshmallow Monsters. Are they going to stick with any of these, you think? Or just y'all kind of a spawn
I mean, it's
trolls?
not that bad until what the Crewmates are running. It's a little bit dishonest, if I'm being real with you. Kind of a dishonest composition. The point being, your plan is kind of just to disengage. I mean, Strudel might be left out to dry, but everybody else on this team really doesn't die to anybody on the side of the Canadian crewmates saying, I don't want to take the man-on-man. I'm not cool. I'm going to play the dishonest comp.
Weenies. Weenies.
But Vin says he doesn't want any of it. He's in the spawn. And jumps into the river.
Okay, good start here for the Canadian crewmates as Poi sacrifices himself to the gods. Pneumonia will find Nuttier, and Poi is sticking on the Winston. I thought perhaps it was a swap to receive the Reinhardt, but nope, he's sticking with it. What's he cooking? I mean, this guy is burning water right now as he jumps into the railing. Okay, there he goes. He finally hit the jump. Fruitals just charges on by himself, will eventually die. But the spawn hold is just drain time off the clock, which is what they want right now. Strudel flying very low, but Skyster on his high ground with the legs, finding 3. And a good start here for the crewmates as they got about a minute off the clock with that spawn hold.
Yeah, and you don't expect that hold to hold for very long, especially into the composition that the Marshmallow monsters are running. But you do expect to get, 2-3 fights on this first point. I'd hope for 3 with the current pace of the cart. As Vin switches over to the D.Va. Understandable. Have a nice day. Very sad this day to see a Reinhardt legend like Vin having to swap. I've never seen him play Reinhardt, by the way, but he's a legend in my book already. And, I mean, Vin is just taking his high ground control away from Skyster so far, trying not to allow this soldier to cook much longer, but Vin falling very low. Look at the Mega Pack, though, so able to stay alive in this fight, but now Skyster is completely uncontested on his high ground right now for just a couple more seconds. But Darkmaster will find Sonic with a nice pick there with the Ice Queen, and now Farudel's tilting in some damage on the Poi, forces an awkward jump, but here comes the tactical visor on the high ground from Skyster. However, there is a bit of a response here from Vin, looks to DM some of that forward, but Darkmaster falls very low, but is able to block in time. The Casino Rush is used as well for Pneumonia, and Fedormaster is able to clean up the kills. Strudel on the side ground, on the Zen, does get 1, but that's not going to be nearly enough as the hold looks to be sustaining here. Yeah, and I don't think you captured it on the broadcast, but Poi about went to space there, so now he's going to switch over to the D.Va. Understandable, have a nice day.
Your analysis has degraded. Just have a nice day.
I think the D.Va's kind of a normal matchup here. I mean, obviously, for some reason, neither team wants to play Orisa here.
A nice blizzard out from Fedormaster, but the Suzu TP out from Nuttier, very well played. Nobody got caught in that blizzard, but does force a really awkward position for Strudel as he's isolated. The Casino Rush is there in response for Nuttier, but they've already lost both their supports. They can't really follow up on this as the Icicles are being lodged from down main, but yeah, they're just retreating and they used the Casino Rush basically for nothing.
Yeah, and this is kind of where that composition you started on for the monsters comes into play. It was really meant to get out of spawn, break down that Reinhardt composition, and now you're playing like Zen. You can't play fast anymore, right? Strudel needs to be getting immense value here with the trans in order to justify this pick, and we'll see if he gets that coming up into this next fight.
Looking for this engaged. Sonic Ronic does have that duplicate here, but falls very weak. Might be forced to use it pretty early there. Look at the Mei selection here on the duplicate. A nice wall on the Farudals, but Wiggle Higgle able to get that beat off in time to keep the team captain alive. And now a very, very sad little block here, and a nice bomb out from Vin knocks Sonic Ronic out of that duplicate, but not before the booster goes down, and now gets both supports as well. The cleanup is there. I mean, Sonic Ronic danced to death like 4 or 5 times during that fight. Stayed alive the entire time and got 2 picks on the back of it once in the fight. So well played from him.
I mean, that's still a good situation for the crewmates here. You should be able to get another fight here, and you'll have better ults in theory, right? Blizzard is great when you're holding a point in overtime, and so is Rush. So hopefully that they'll be able to get the value that out of these 2 ults as
but a good pick on the Fedormaster. So you can't use that Blizzard. However, Sonic goes very low as Fruitals is TP'd on, so very winnable for either side right now. But Strudel, there you go, this value has been gained. The bomb out from Poi, not gonna find anything, but it's caused some space. Some havoc to come through. Here comes the Casino Rush from Pneumonia. Vin out towards that ultimate very quickly. Here it has the mech again. Fedora trying to run back as fast as he possibly can with this Blizzard, but Strudel trying to build it towards this train to get anything done. Nuttier has this Casino Rush potentially to turn back in favor of the Military Martial Monster, but Fedormaster has that Blizzard on point. Nobody can really touch Sonic Rise. Has returned on the trace. We'll find Pneumonia as soon as that Casino Rush, but a nice Suzu there on the Poi to keep him in this fight out of the Frozen, but it appears the entire crewmates turn around and force out the TP. Here comes a very late Death Blossom from Frutals, and without a mech from Poi, they're going to clean that up, and the Canadian crewmates show life on Rialto and take us to a 2-1.
They figured it out. They cracked the code. I love seeing people innovate in terms of compositions. Well, maybe not innovate, as you mentioned. You've run this many times. But utilize, compositions that are different in order to achieve different results. I don't think they were going to win with what they were playing, and you know, maybe with this they have a chance. We'll see. Unfortunately, this composition has a lot of counter picks, so I don't expect we'll be seeing more than like one more map that allows Reinhardt to be played.
I mean, the good news is we're going into a push map next, and then a control. So, like, it's doable, because you're playing on the point for basically both these next matches, so it could work. Yeah, you never know. They might be cooking something up here. They might be cooking a 2-2, but we'll have to see on the other side of this break. Oh, never mind. We already got the map choice. It's this round, so we're going to go fast here. They're ready to go.
Let them cook. They're cooking quick.
They're out here using the easy bake oven. They're going fast. All right, they're whipping up recipes.
Yeah, they got an 80-volt light bulb in that thing, and it's cooking.
So we're going over to Esperanza, which I would guess. I mean, if I had to say as a Reinhardt player, it's probably the worst Reinhardt map for a push, but you can still play it. Yeah, there's a lot of high ground to abuse, especially where the bot gets pushed first.
Yeah, I mean, for Reinhardt, you want flat ground.
No, I actually prefer mountains as the Reinhardt player, so don't speak for us.
True. But I would say Esperanza is, I guess, the least flat. But I mean, all the push maps should be okay for Rein, especially when you're running the sim. The sim actually enables this Reinhardt composition to, maybe go above and beyond what it normally could, which is why it's, a little bit viable on Rialto. We'll see if Poi comes out on an immediate counter. I think if Poi comes out on the Zarya or the Sigma again, I could see the monsters getting run over in this first fight, feeling like they've been caught out by surprise, and then we, see that classic push thing that the Crewmates did last time of just like playing with the distance over and over and over.
The sub is here. 7 comes in for Sky, so we've seen it every other map. So 7 probably coming in and play the Genji. But does the Genji really work in the composition the Crewmates are planning on running? The Symmetra May. It might be pretty hard to get in and get out, get some value from 7. But if anybody can, it's going to be 7. We're waiting for the Crewmates to give the R, then we'll head in. But
I could see them running like a Monkey Genji composition into the Rhine. You shouldn't be burned down that quickly with a Mei and a Symmetra as the 2 DPS on either the tank or the Genji. And so, assuming you can get some value on your immediate dive, you can win fights. And I think that's what I'd expect to see from the monsters.
Okay, Feroz, of course, has to put a meme first before we move into the next map. Wiggle BMA. You gave me the map, man. I wanted to skip the map break, but we could have gotten to it. These guys are trolling. Yeah.
And let's say, as we do in Aurora Esports, right? Just a quick reminder, you can buy merch at an undisclosed link that BOON1E will post in the near future. You can buy merch that either includes your team's logo, or another team's logo, or an Aurora Esports logo, or there's the fancy new Vaporwave Aurora Esports thing. That seems cool.
Yes, sir. We got one R. Now I just gotta wait for the other one. So I guess I gotta say this: if the Crewmates say they get counter comped, do you stick with it because it's the only thing that's been working for you? Do you try to do something else? I mean, because we have seen really nothing else work for you so far in this series.
There's a wonderful hero you can switch to on almost every push map.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Called Orisa. And Orisa, some people, in this server included, might think Zarya is very, very good into Orisa. But the thing about Orisa is she takes effectively 0 damage and can kind of run over every tank that isn't Orisa. So...
And yes, chat, just so you know, I did do that on purpose. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
I flashed the ad again.
I mean, we can just sit down and watch it, we don't need to see this map, just
yeah, just put the ad out on loop on the MP3 file. And it looks like they're sticking with this Rhine composition, and we're seeing a Zarya counter brawl, but I'm not so sure. If Fedorov's just a nice wall, we might be seeing a pretty solid push from the Crewmates early.
In Overwatch theory, right? Study your textbooks. Guku's teaching Overwatch 101. Zarya should get rolled by a Reinhardt in almost every scenario. You don't have the innate survivability to survive a rush burst on Zarya. Like, you have bubbles, but Zarya is very, very killable.
But you forget, Guku. The devs have forgot Reinhardt's a character in the game. So
they should still be able to roll over Zarya here. Like, genuinely, they should just be able to speed over Or just run at Sonic Chronic, because he's a little bit out of position.
They just run at Sonic, force out that Radical Sight, as well as both bubbles from Poi. So this could be a pretty quick engage here, as Sonic can't quite land. Oh, the sleep from Strudel! As Seven get caught in the charge, but is able to stay alive. But the map has been flipped, Meteor goes down, so no real disengage here for the Military Marshmallow Monsters, as they're just playing Ring Around the Rosy right now, but the Crewmates will take that as the cart is pushing in their favor right now.
Yeah, and you can, if you're the Crewmates, you can sit on point for a tiny bit here. Obviously, you don't want to wait too long. You do at some point want to run over the trio that is standing behind you, but unfortunately, Fruitals is not on the same page as his team and goes down. They need to play some angles here and then speed onto the Zarya.
Sonic has found the off angle here on the high ground, though, so forces really awkward positioning from the entire position of the Crewmates. But Pneumonia always has Kitsune Rush, and Vind just playing slow on the cart, not letting it get to push back. Sonic falls very low. Was able to slide alive for just a moment longer. Here comes a Kitsune Rush as well, coming out from Pneumonia. Very fast hammer swings out from Vind. The wall not gonna find any point, will find Pneumonia. So it looks like the Crewmates are sent back here with the Nano on the point as well. High charge, melting down the Crewmates. And it finally, after all that, the monsters had the advantage.
I mean, for the love of God, you need to speed over the Zarya there. You can't. The Zarya cannot be allowed to just sit behind your team for like a minute straight. It's okay if you want to take cart, but you need to all be on the same page. And I think, you know, again, like we talked about in the earlier maps, that needs to be the thing that's happening. You need to be focusing on Poi when he's on Zarya.
You can definitely dump Adora as the shot caller of this squad, because he just turned around to look at the entire team before they started moving out. You know, it's a classic shot caller. I think here in 7, though, with the Death Blossom, will find Wiggle Higgle, so it is a kill early here on the support line, so Ben can't really escape here. A nice play from 7. Early aggressive Death Blossom. It finds 3 in this fight. You know, we said Genji one trick, but whips out the Reaper and is absolutely pounding right now, the 4K in that fight.
Yeah, luckily they have a Lucio and they all just died. They might be able, they should, oh, well, we're gonna get a pause. As it looks like something's going wrong on the side of the Crewmates. Maybe a disconnect, maybe some internet issues.
Looks like ping going crazy.
Ping gone crazy. But anyway, I think the Crewmates, I don't think their composition is necessarily worse here. You should, obviously the high ground's abusable a little bit here now that you're in this kind of weird offensive position. But you should be able to speed over the Zarya, assuming you're all grouped correctly and you're not getting ulted. Unfortunately, Poi has Grav. Luckily, you have beat. We'll see if Fedora Master is able to get any value out of his Mail. They've been kind of hit or miss, and I think it's kind of hard to use into a Zarya sometimes, just due to bubble existing.
As well as a Reaper, so you can just, you know, cool Wraith walk out of it.
I mean, your goal should be to catch out the tank with it, because you can burn down Zarya, in my humble opinion. But we'll see if they're able to do that. Don't know.
This could be a while, so we'll go ahead and send ourselves to a map break. In the meantime, go ahead and enjoy this music by The Purist 2, and just think about what merch you're gonna buy.
I like a sweatshirt.
the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Welcome to Esports. Initiating match.
beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Welcome back, chat.
There we go.
Quite the mess we just occurred. Yeah, we're trying to do some cool things. We're like, oh, we can just sub in Kerbology for Pneumonia till their ping goes down, and we'll bring Pneumonia next map. And all of a sudden, Overwatch 2, a very well-crafted game, not at all held together by even worse than spaghetti code, like, I don't know, lasagna code at this point. The server decided to restart, and we lost all of our progress, so we are just restarting this map of Esperanza at 0-0, 10 minutes on the clock. It didn't happen. Remove it from your brains. It didn't happen.
Yeah,
Please,
so
so
I
resolution.
expect maybe one of the teams to come out on Reinhardt here. Boy's probably going to play Zarya. You know, Overwatch may be held together by ZD code, but at least it's delicious. You know, we'll get more of it. Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum. The content is just even more layers to the ZD. It's making it either the worst thing you've ever seen or perhaps the most delicious dish you've ever had tasted. But
Who cares that I have a full-time job tomorrow? I'm casting until 1 a.m., baby.
Both of us, my friend. But going over here onto the fight on the push bot, looks like a bit of a different approach from both these teams here. Playing a bit more cautious here is going to be the Crewmates, but a Rialto Raccoons, Rialto Raccoons.
Yeah, Real Raccoon.
The Rio Raccoons rotation looked to be initiated. As I like to go behind him. It might be happening yet again, folks. Poi is bringing it back. The Rio Raccoons rotations might still be alive. But a very slow play from both the squads right now. No team wants to make that first mistake. But the pin is there. But Poi has the bubble.
Pin.
But Poi did just in time get the bubble off. But now both bubbles are used here. But Vin falling very low. As Poi has some energy. Pelting him down the front line. A huge anti from Strudel. Forces out an early Suzu out from Pneumonia. The ult's really coming in favor for neither team right now, but a big sleep. Instantly woken up. Vin back in the fight, but Vin finds the first pick on a Nuttier. He'll call server diff, he'll call admin abuse. I can't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Vin almost has the shatter, but Poi still high charge. Oh, Furtles falls like 1 HP. Gets healed up by Pneumonia last second. This fight is still going on. The bot making no progress, really 6 meters only has been garnered from the side of the Crewmates, but they do have a Kusina Rush here for the re-engage. Fedora Master forced to use a block early, but here comes the Kusina Rush out from Pneumonia. Then charging in there, has the shatter. 7 gets nanoed up! A nice play as well as the grab charge, but nobody's there to follow it up. Never mind, here comes the nano 7! And finally, I think the Crewmates have lost this fight, but it's still the supports on deck, and finally they're gonna go down.
Wiggle Higgle's gonna try to get out with his life. He's talking about preserving his stats, preserving his 5k, and he will preserve his life. You got some good ults coming up on both sides here. Unfortunate reality is Pneumonia had to use Kitsune Rush there, and now they do not have it. It's kind of on Vin here to hit a good shatter. I'd like to see them, again, focusing down the Zarya a little bit more, trying to, like, use speed to engage. Because... yeah.
Oh, but a nice Reaper ult to engage her from 7. Finds 2. I tried to capture the shatter, but instead 7 just steals the show and gets the 2k with the Reaper ult. Pneumonia gets 1 for his troubles, but yeah, it's going to be a more bot push here for the Marshmallow monsters.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a fight, though, for the Crewmates. You should be able to contest again before they get to the butt scratch, and not much ult charge was changed over there, other than the lost ult by 7. We'll see where they engage here. It's kind of hard because the Marshmallow monsters are just going to sit on high ground.
Sonic Ronic fell very low there, but was able to get popped up by Strudel. And here comes Sonic Ronic with that overclock and finds Pneumonia. The Blizzard is down and somehow catches Sonic Ronic on the high ground, but the beat is there from Nightier to keep the DPS in the fight. The shatter gets thrown down, knocks out multiple members, but a huge Anthony from Strudel from the RKO out of nowhere, and another nano boost already on the 7. But here comes Wiggle Higgle with the beat in response to this nano boost. But a lot of damage being thrown down right now by 7. Poi, high energy. But it looks like the picks here are going in favor of the Crewmates. As Pneumonia has to turn to the fight with that Suzu and the TP. 7 tries to get out with their own life with that Reaper Wraith and the bubble. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Gonna get taken down. But Poi is going to get out the energy, it looks like.
Yeah, a tight fight win for the Crewmates there. I mean, the Marshmallow monsters tried to hold that with all of their might. They used 3 ultimates. They're going to be coming up on Grav, but we do almost have a Kitsune Rush coming out from Pneumonia, which is, you know, again, one of the best ults in the game. And hopefully they can do the same thing they did there, which is engage, try to focus down Poi, at least put some pressure on the supports.
Ferrutles is going on
runs up into the high ground.
journey to the west here. As, yeah, Wicked Hill's gonna go down to Strudel, and finally decided to join the fight is Fruitles with a TP in. But Fedora Master uses the Blizzard and dies almost instantly. But it's gonna be a 2-for-2 right now. Poi has the high energy, but the Casino Rush with the Reaper ultimate! Sonic Ronic tries to stabilize here, but it is Strudel and Sonic Ronic against Vind and Pneumonia. And Vind with that giant shield is just pushing the cart ever so slowly forward. Sonic is retreating for now up on the high ground, but I think the advantage here will be garnered. No, it doesn't look it just yet. Pneumonia falls very low. That has to Suzu out, but here comes Wiggle Wiggle with the beat on the Strudel, knocks him off the high ground. However, Vind has the shatter, slams it down, gets 7 on the floor, but the bubble is there by Poi. Well done, keeping the Reaper up in this fight. And here comes 7 with the Reaper off. They're going to find Vind as Fruitles has returned with the Tracer kill. It's 1-for-1, but Poi, high energy, charging forward, taking the space back for the squad. Still has Graviton Surge, but I don't think they're going to need it, as he's just melting down Wiggle Higgle on the retreat here. And I think the crewmates are sent packing. Finally, they couldn't get the advantage either with a clutch touch from Nuttier.
Yeah, I mean, same story has been going on here. I'd love to see some better target focus on the side of the crewmates. It feels like they, you know, get to positions where they can win fights, and then just decide they don't want it. Like, right there, they just dropped off high ground, and then Poi went up on high ground, and then Poi just jumped off high ground. So both teams, you know, not respecting the things they have, and instead wanting the things they don't.
I mean, yeah, your analysis basically took over this very fast fight, which, I mean,
Yeah.
they used a Nano Reaper and walked very fast, so very scary.
Spooky, spooky, scary Reaper, man. Fruitle's caught outside of spawn, gonna get launched into the air, and, hey, you know, you get a consolation prize, a Lucio pick. But unfortunately, you're in a rough position right here for the Marshmallow Monsters. They have no ults, other than maybe Pneumonia's coming up here. And the other team has Grab and Overclock, which are very good abilities.
Looking to use it. 7, a bit of a flank angle here. Does force out some bubbles from Vind here, but the Casino Rush does get this ball back. But a nice grab, lockdown Vind. The opposing number taken down. Here comes the Overclock as well by Sonic Rock to stabilize this attack and not lose any more members. And, I mean, they're winning these fights and they're winning them cleanly. Exactly what you want on push here for the Monsters.
Yeah, I mean, they might full cap here. I'm not sure if I really like the Zarya swap from Vind. I mean, I understand the mentality, but it's not necessarily the greatest pick here. And, you know, it's taking away your 1-win condition, which was being able to provide more to your team than the enemy tank.
Fruitles does get the opening pick on a Strudel, so that could be huge. And Antonin shuts down that Reaper ultimate as well from 7. So, Pneumonia with the swap over onto the Ana. And it's going to be a last-second hold here, but they're finally going to get it. But they got themselves quite the task ahead of them with only 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, they might not even get it across half before they get another fight from the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. I mean, that's a really far push, and it's going to be quite difficult to get anywhere close to that. As Fruitles is on Widow, and that's kind of the win condition, right? You really want some picks here. Both teams have beat, but we'll see who uses it better.
The turret gets taken down almost immediately, but Master does have the Molten Core, but gets taken down out of Eloisva's Helix. Here comes Vind with her Graviton Surge that locks down multiple members. So it is going to be an even trade on both sides, but ultimates have been exchanged. Fruitles will end up getting 7, but will get as well. So it's a very even fight on either side right now. Nuttier still has his beat potentially for a stabilization, but Pneumonia has this Nano. Fruitles finds the pick yet again. And like you said, that's the win condition, and Fruitles is delivering so far, getting 2 nice picks in this fight.
They need to push this cart ASAP. They want to get this checkpoint. They want to get butt scratch. They want to disengage and retake a fight on their own terms. Unfortunately, Vin did use Grav there, so they're at a Grav disadvantage, but they do have all the ultimates and all the pieces they need to win a fight. I'd love to see like something creative come out with the Nano here.
Wiggle Higgle has spot out 7 and tries to take the 1-on-1, but is retreating back to the squad right now. It gets healed right up. Both support ults here ready for the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters to look for this next fight, but here comes the Molten Core out from Fedora Master, forces out that beat from Nuttier. They still have the Nano here on the point. Poi's going to walk in here, but the beat from Wiggle Hill keeps him up. Fruit's already fallen down. A Nano Vin in your backline is going to be matched with a Nano Poi. However, Vin's already dealt first blood here, got 7. And now the Zaryas are just trading these blows back and forth. This Vin is just suicide jumping into enemy lines. Speaking of suicide jumping, Poi. But it looks like they've won the fight. Fruitles comes back on the Tracer. These swaps are quite desperation. But, I mean, I don't mind the Tracer swap, honestly. It's probably better than the Widowmaker in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, the Widowmaker did actually get work done. But the Tracer should be able to do more in theory. Unfortunately, it's just the Sojourn disadvantage. I really wish Fruitles would go onto the Sojourn or something. Just get that damage they need to take down the Zarya. Zarya's the reason Zarya is not often played as much at the highest level is because she just dies. And unfortunately, we're not seeing that come to fruition here, as both teams just are kind of existing forever. Yeah, the just dying.
Yeah, 7 gets the opening pick on a Fruit, but a Graviton Surge is there to follow up here from Vind, and a big anti-nade as well from Pneumonia. So, one fight win here, which is what you need. You build it towards your DPS ultimates here. It's potentially doable, but look at the Alpine building it for the monsters right now.
Yeah, and you need to win every single fight now. You don't have that. You don't have that buffer. You don't get the benefit from butt scratch. You need to win 4 fights probably here, if you're the if you're the crewmates. And this one, it might be the hardest one to do, as we're probably going to see Blade and Overclock used. Huge.
Rules gets a stuck on out of here though, so like I said, that's a huge start. But Overclock has been invested from Sonic Runner, looking to pick one pick here, but the turret is being a nuisance. You win this fight for Pulse Bomb. That's a pretty good start there for the Canadian crewmates. As Vid charges forward here, tries to keep that energy up, but Fedormaster has the Molten Core, and they have the Nano Boost. One fight territory.
Yeah, I mean, you got to survive through Nano Blade though, right? That's the problem for the crewmates coming into this next fight, as it comes out.
There gets Wicked Hagel as well as Pneumonia. Both supports are down, but the Molten Core is there! Stops one more pick from coming through. Vin flying very low. There is no support. However, the Torbjorn turret is all you really need. 7 is forced back. Can't engage. It's just Fedormaster and Vin on the cart. They might do this. 9 meters and counting.
They need to get extreme value early on here. Like, Vin needs to play absurdly aggressive, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to have everything back. Wiggle Higgle's trying to come back. Not going to happen in time.
And the grab.
The entire team responds, and that's unfortunate.
And that's that Nano Blade. It didn't get the fight win, but it got those 2 support kills. That's all you really needed, but that was a nail biter there. I mean, I thought we were going to see the crewmates do it again to us. To come back on a push map with a final desperation miracle push. Almost happened again, but not to be done this time.
Yeah, I didn't like the Zarya swap. Vin did make quite a bit of work out of it. I think part of it is the confidence, right? When you're playing the mirror, you feel like you can just check the other tank, and that's all that Vin really needs to do, right? If you can keep Poi from running over your backline, Poi does a lot less. If Poi's only shooting at the Zarya, Poi does a lot less. And I'd love to see them continue to do that.
And now we are at match point here, 3-1 in favor of the Monsters. I mean, just like we said there at the end, the crewmates aren't out of this just yet, but it's going to take a pretty big Herculean task ahead of them here. But on our control point, which we saw earlier, go pretty back and forth. It's definitely doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's now you are at Death Star, right? Now you should be playing how you want to play, right? You want to end on your terms, and so I don't expect a whole lot of swaps or switches coming out from the crewmates, but I do expect them to, they need to play with a little bit more confidence here. I'd love to see it. As we're moving to Lijiang Tower.
Which you can play that Reinhardt composition on the Symmetra turrets, the Symmetra May, which we've seen them.
Or play Orisa. People think Orisa is really bad into Zarya, and it might be. But assuming you're pressuring out the Zarya, you shouldn't have as much of an issue as I think a lot of people think. It does just provide a lot of damage. Again, though, I think the Rein composition should be able to roll over Zarya as well. So I don't. From the crewmates, you just need that coordination and push. I like the Fedora Master on Torb. I think it's getting a lot of work done. Fertils can kind of play whatever. I'd love to see Sojourn or Symmetra. But, this is a great map for them. Yes, they have tried Monkey. To answer a question in chat. The first 2 maps they played Monkey and they got destroyed.
Alright, got the R's from both our teams, so we're heading in to Lijiang Tower, which could potentially be our final map of our grand finals. Let's hope not. Let's see the crewmates have that fight still left in them, because as we've said, I mean, I guess as I've said, all these maps have been very close so far. It hasn't been like a dominant win for either side. So it's just been, can the crewmates bring it back? They were down, I believe, 2-1 against the Brooklyn Bricks. And they brought it back on the control as well as push. So Not the end of the world for them just yet, but again, Death's Door is there. It's knocking. Do we see the Bastion? Do we see the Ramatra?
I mean, we are currently seeing the Bastion. I don't know if we're... It didn't do too well last time, but again, it's... If your goal is just to shoot at Zarya, Bastion's a pretty good pick. Burns bubbles really quick. Can burn down Zarya's huge hitbox pretty quick. You know, maybe it'll work out here. I'm a little worried just into the Junkrat that Bastion's gonna get burned, but you never know.
They're doing it. I should expect a Fedora Master on Lijiang Tower to do some Sim Bastion shenanigans. They're gonna get the point first.
Early.
The bubbles are exchanged right now, but the point basically is in control right now of the Canadian crewmates. However, Skycer falls so weak. But Strudel is there with the healing. Skycer locked in a corner right now. Very scared little child in the corner, but is able to roll away to safety. And now it's just a bloody brawl in the front line as Vin is taking so much damage, but Pneumonia there heal him up.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't have to play that fast if you're the side of the crewmates here. You have point control. They need to walk into you. As Vin pushes forward a little bit, is able to kill out Skycer. And, you know, we're kind of seeing a cleanup here. They should be able to just run forward.
Yeah, the early pick on a Nuttier is the early pick on a Nuttier was very, very well done. Strudel as well going to get staggered out here, but Poi is trying to get out with his energy and won't do so. That would have been the silver lining, if any, for this fight if they were able to do that, but they were not able to. And now the crewmates 25% and counting, and look, he's all building up.
Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second. My cameras are having issues. But I do expect, you know, a tire could be huge here as Fergus goes down, so never mind.
That's a very good start, but here comes a Casino Rush to re-engage here, so it's 1-for-1 on DPS right now. That's very aggressive here is the Canadian crewmates, but a big Graviton Surge comes out, the window ground combo! We saw it on King's Row during the Muskie Bowl, and we're seeing it again here. And that's going to be the point flipping here. I mean, Pneumonia being a nuisance in the back line right now. Maybe he gets Nuttier here. Yes, he will, but does go down. Ferruz returns the point. Yeah, dies immediately, but you really used Casino Rush, and you got some point presence, and it could work here for a recap.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing exactly what you need to do. They have 3 ults coming into this next fight. They can even TP onto point if they want. You just need to watch out for the tire. Suzu can do well against tire. Bubbles can do well against tire, but it does come down to, you know, that awareness and that skill. As they just grab
just charge on it. Oh, here comes the Bastion grab combo, but the beat is well timed from Nuttier. Keeps the squad nice and healthy. Frutals re-engages with a wall here. They will find Poi, so that's Zarya out of the fight. It's up to this tire from Sonic Rock, potentially a turn for his squad. But you lose out on the, you know, the dynamic duo of Strudel, and oh no! Sonic Runner gets booped off by Wiggle Higgle. And that's going to be the crewmates taking that point back, but they did use a couple ults to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where you would have liked to see Sonic Chronic, like, taking a flank angle a little bit better and looking to use tire early. But, you know, you do have it coming into this next fight, so assuming they go in with the tire, they can get a lot of value here. Especially if they push the crewmates back towards point a little bit first, which looks like they're doing.
They are moving forward here, tries to push them back just a little bit, but somebody gets caught out, I believe. I think they know Sonic is there. They're going to TP onto him. Force him out there, but the Dragon comes in out from Sonic to try to keep the team alive, from Skycer, I mean, but yeah, it doesn't help Sonic stay alive, and Fedora comes in with the help of the beat from Wicked. They use Casino Rush as well, but it's last right territory, so looking to clean this up, and it looks like they're going to do so. And the crewmates, they whip out the sussiest strategies known to man, and they've weeded out the imposters that are the monsters, and taken our first point of control.
Yeah, I mean, the crewmates roster right now, if you look at their team is just if you took all your, you know, D&D 5e, like, point buy and put it all on damage. You know, it's they just pick the highest damage characters they can. They don't care how glass cannony they are, and it's working because they're pressuring out Poi. They're pressuring out, you know, the rest of the team on the side of the Marshmallow monsters, where they just can't really get value now. I think it's good. I think it's. I'm excited. Let's see if they can continue to do this moving forward as Poi switches over to Hog, which is way better into Bastion. Classically, I mean, you can still do a lot of damage on Bastion.
Cast all that, so I went for the spawn kill. Lol. GG's. Pneumonia letting them know in the chat. Their crewmates will never stop posting in match chat. They won't let you hear the end of it. But here comes the both TP's on the point. The bubble used by Vin, though, to stop that hook from getting too much value out from Poi. Fedora is on the coastline. They find Skycer early here.
Yeah, they force out Strudel on the outside, so Strudel's not able to heal anybody on point, and the team just crumbles on the side of the Marshmallow monsters. That's, I mean, great play on the side of Fedora Master and Vind, understanding what the win condition was in that very moment, and just putting pressure on Strudel, forcing to back out to outside point.
I gotta check out Nuttier claims. Oh, Nutier's gonna swim over to the Mercy here. Perhaps a damage boost up Sonic Run can deal with that extra damage on the side of the crewmates. But you're losing out on that speed utility to cross these choke points with Fedora Master just pelting you down. Let's see how it works out for him. Sonic tries to build towards that charge to get something done, but Skycer falls very low. I mean, it's just a spam battle right now, and the crewmates are very happy to take this.
And, I mean, the longer you sit here as the Marshmallow Monster's trying to poke, trying to get a pick, the longer you're wasting on your time. You don't own the point. As Poi goes for this flank around, thinks better of it. And now
Sonic Ronic, what was that? He just slides off the map. They lose 2 as the crewmates look to again claim this point. Strudel is yet again isolated on the right-hand side, but the big, oh, what the? Vin just decides, I'm not going to the pit. Nope, I'm against it. And now Strudel's going to get staggered out as well as Poi, so that's going to be a pretty good fight win there for the crewmates.
Immaculate tech. I've decided I do not want to fall off the map. And they are kind of at a standstill here. The Marshmallow Monsters are having just an issue getting in, just due to the sheer amount of damage and spam coming out of the crewmates. I love it. It's great.
And now they're going to go through White Room again, but Pneumonia has this Casino Rush to just charge back into him. Trio does have the Nano Boost, though, so could potentially get a very scary Piggy running forward through Casino Rush at you. See how that works. Anthony goes in. We'll find Vin, but Skycer's already found the first pick on Fedora Master. The hook's going to find nothing, however, from Poi. Got the hook onto Farudos, but couldn't get the kill. And here comes a Casino Rush to try to re-engage, but Vin's going to go down as Poi's Nano Whole Hog. Putting out so much damage right now. You used a lot of ults, but you're going to get the point back in your favor. As Pneumonia returns for a desperation battle. Not going to really work out well for him there, as finally the point flips here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about all those ults used on the side of the crewmates. You could have probably saved those and still had the same amount of ults used on the other side. But they do switch over to the Orisa here. You know, the oh so favorable Hog Orisa matchup that everybody talks about. And here we go. We're gonna see hopefully Fedora Master look for something with his ultimate, but he's kind of in, so he can't really use it.
Both units come out right now, but they did find Strudel and Wigan here are exchanged, so 1-for-1 on support, but Sonic Ronic with the overclock has found 2 already, and they're trying to find Fedora Master. It looks like they are going to do so. Oh, Fedora Master! Oh, what was that? It's still pretty even here, but the crewmates have the point back in their favor. Vin has a Fortify on the point, Jet wants Poi, but Poi still has his Take a Vape. Take a breather, I meant. But Wiggle Higgle uses that beat, keeps the 3 members remaining for the crewmates alive and well. Sonic gets booped, got some tinnitus, sent to the hospital. And Fedora Master trying to come back on the legs as fast as possible, gets a pick on Strudel, and they're going to take him off the point. And that's going to be a pretty easy win on Lijiang Tower for the Canadian crewmates. It's 3-2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was dominant from the crewmates. Understanding what their win condition was. The Bastion helping a lot, right? We joked about it at the start, but it did put in work. As we see, you know, a Baptiste play of the game, probably, you know, the window right here is going to be crazy, and I expect some kills, you know, really cool. Pew, pew, pew,
Pew, pew.
yeah, beautiful play from Strudel, understanding what they need to win that grab. Maybe necessary, maybe not. But we're moving on to another map. What do you expect to see as a pick out of the monsters here, Booney?
I'm not exactly sure, because what's left in terms of hybrid maps play pretty heavily in favor of a Reinhardt Brawl style, which we saw the crewmates find advantage of, but they also unlocked the Orisa character. You know, they got high enough level in the battle pass to get that one, I suppose. But now they can play that comp, and now this May works yet again. You're kind of going into an unfavorable map type here for the monsters against this new crewmate strategy of just run it down mid, out damage us if you dare.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them just stick on the Bastion. It seemed to do work. It's putting pressure. It's like forcing the focus of the, you know, key players on the side of the Marshmallow Monsters to be split between Vind and other people. And Fedora is getting a lot of work done. He's forcing out Strudel. He's forcing out Nuttier. It's getting a lot of work done. Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm the monsters, I'd probably fine playing into like Blizzard World maybe, but it's not ideal, you know.
Like
I'm trying to think of the other
like
possible hybrid maps.
Paraiso, you think maybe it could work? A lot of high ground to abuse on point A.
I honestly forgot that was even a map. Yes, I that'd be fine. I think any of the maps you can probably get a strategy that works on the side of the Marshmallow monsters. I also will note they haven't played Orisa yet either. There's like an agreement between these two teams to just not play Orisa.
A sturdy handshake.
Yeah, stern handshake, and I do feel like if they just decide to like play Orisa, they probably can just win. Very good into everything the crewmates have been running. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We are going over to King's Row is going to be our selection. And you know, I'm going to do the night one because it's just a better map. We're going to Night King's Row. And
I
7
don't know.
comes
Do you think
in
you
for
should
Scott.
ask the players?
Nope. Admin
You know
abuse.
what? I want Christmas Kings Row. I've decided.
Overruled.
Kings Row Winter.
Yeah, we saw the Monsters in the last bowl game, I believe, had a very stellar full hold on King's Row. We saw them earlier full hold on Numbani. Are we going to see it again?
I mean, potentially. This does have aspects of Numbani that, you know, the monsters were able to abuse, right? Strudel can just sit on that high ground, and if nobody focuses him down, they can just win again. Again, it comes down to the crewmates' target focus and what they're choosing, how they plan their engages. I think that's what's been determining who wins these maps. On like a really good day, the crewmates seem to be taking it, and on a really bad day, the monsters just roll them. And it seems like we're kind of flipping a coin every single map.
All right, with that being said, we're going to get us over to a quick break. The teams are asking for a bile, so we will oblige, and we'll see all you on the other side.
These beats are the purest. Prove it.
We are back here with the Aurora Overwatch Clash BOON1E Bowl. It's exciting because we got ourselves quite the match. This is the second closest grand finals in history so far. I don't think anything's gonna top the map 8 banger that was the Gaming Golems and the Wakanda BBQs, but we can hope to dream. And by dreaming, I mean we're not sleeping Guku because we are salaried men, and my god, we're going to 10 maps, 11 maps, I don't know. How much more can we draw this? But we'll have to wait and see if we have to worry about that, because we are still at match point for the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. Our next map is going to be King's Row, and the only sub is 7 comes in for Skycer.
Yeah, and yes, more of the same, right? I think, yeah, again, it looks like they might be sticking on the Bastion, BOON1E. I mean, maybe they're teasing us, but
some Bastion on top of the statue. You like that? Some Bastion on top of the statue?
And the big thing I think the Bastion does is kind of, it does alone what I was saying was lacking from the side of the crewmates, right? They weren't putting pressure on the Zarya. And Bastion hits one button and holds one button and like aims a little bit, and you put a lot of pressure on the Zarya, which allows her to get a lot less value. You may allow her to be full charge, but a full charge Zarya with no bubbles is a dead Zarya.
We are actually seeing our Ramatra. This is the first Ramatra we've seen in the league in the playoffs. And the TP comes up on the
look at this rotation!
The Reno Raccoon's rotation ploy has spotted out, though. He knows exactly where they're going. He's putting down the right clicks in their general direction. But this high ground control is highly in favor of the crewmates right now. This is going to melt them down here with these rotations coming through. The Reno Raccoons are back, ladies and gentlemen. And sadly, it is against Poi. He's seen it before. Can they respond? Oh, the TP on the point!
Finn goes in. I expect him to go sicko mode. Punch, 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 punch.
The punches are coming through, but Fedora Master has felt the first final blow. But Poi, with no bubbles, flying very weak. His Strudel is there for the help. And they're going to get up. Poi is still alive, but no! Brutals melts him down. I mean, it's a very even fight right now, but Ramatra's still on the point. But, I mean, it's just, the point's going to get captured here. Sonic Rock trying his best to stay alive.
Yeah, it doesn't look that even to me, BOON1E.
No full hold. No full hold. I saw 2-3. I saw 2 and 3 right out. I'm excited.
I think they did a great job of, even when they lost Fedora early there, they pressured out Poi. And Fruitals, you know, that slow build, that slow Symmetra building, just allows them to do so much work. And they're playing fast too. Look at how they're rotating.
I'm just so happy that the Rita Raccoon's rotation actually got a point capture.
Hey, excuse you, the Rita rotation got at least a 1 point capture.
At least one. I'm not gonna say 2, but at least one, I think. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll go back in the archives and see what we can find. But look at this flank from, they know he's there though. They know the Bastion is there. But Poi tries to melt him down, but the shield is well timed and well placed. Here comes a slow orb as well. Out from Vin. Vin comes in with the Nemesis form and gets the punch on a Sonic Chronic. I gotta remember the terminology. I've never casted a Ramatra before. But it looks to be just doing enough work, and I mean that's that quick play come through again. They have no answer. They're just running around in circles trying to find anything to work.
Yeah, I mean I'm enjoying it. I love seeing some Ramatra. I love seeing some new heroes coming out. I told Poi if he performs badly on Zarya, I'm gonna shit on him, and I think the Zarya is the problem right here. You can't provide enough to shut down the Ramatra. The Ramatra can just run you over. And you'd expect the same thing to come from the Reinhardt, but unfortunately they weren't able to make that work. But they're doing great now.
The window and the wall both changed out here, but Symmetra sadly just a little bit bigger. Perhaps in the next Baptiste burp it'll be the same. Baptiste stuff I meant. But for real, it's going to go down to Sonic Ronic. As this could potentially turn it here.
Yeah.
They're going to go hard here. Vin still has his ultimate, but the Graviton Surge is thrown out. It's just the grab dragon, old Classico, and it looks like it's gonna be enough. But you changed that for one wall. You'll take
it looks like a reset was called pretty early there from the crewmates. They got out grabbed. They understood the fight was lost. Vin didn't even hit right click. He was like, I don't want to live. I'll come again in the next life. And now we're gonna see some Ramatra ultimate ability.
The TP is there as well as the blade, but the Suzu is just in time! Fruitals will still go down though, so 7 not to be denied his kill. We'll find Fruitals. That's the only ultimate though. Nettier will have this beat potentially to counter out Vin's I don't even know what it's called. What his ultimate's called? I haven't used it. But here comes Fedora Master's Bastion aerial strike. Not combine anything. Stefan's gonna go down though. And now suffer as he has. As Vint comes in. Tries to find something, but
He's in the back line. Remember that Poi exists.
He's got 2. But the Casino Rush is still in the front line. Poi falls so weak. Poi is 1 HP. But Vin shuts him down with the Ramultra ultimate. Nuttier asserts the Lucio differential. But it's just him right now. Sonic is in the back alley. Tries to get a shot in. But look at this controller assisted aim. Seven comes back on the Reaper. I think Vin and Fedora have to retreat here. They can't win this fight on their own.
They can't win this fight on their own.
Nice. They have beat though, and they have 4.
I mean, they maybe actually can win this fight not on their own.
But they have help.
As Min runs back in.
And here comes the beat. A very angry Nemesis form. Shuts down Sonic Ronic. Oh, Pneumonia! Hits the shot in the kunai right into Strudel's noggin. And now Poi just trying to stay alive as Nuttier amps up on Cart. But I mean, Vin is just unstoppable right now on this Ramatra.
He's just following, dude.
And the grab, that better be a swap. That better be a swap. I swear to God, Poi. That better be a swap.
I know, right? Okay, anyway,
look at that TP. Look at that TP, by the way.
I don't often wish for others suffering, but I think Zarya's garbage right now.
Suffer as he has. But anyway.
Suffer as he has. Poi switches over to the Hog. I mean, it's good into the Ramatra. But you might have some issues assuming you're not dealing with the Bastion properly. We'll see how it works out.
Oh, Strudel gets picked early. That's not very good here, but they're going to put our Masters, so it's a 1-for-1. A potentially more valuable pick. Rudels is behind you right now.
Yeah.
Building up that ultimate as quick as he can. Ramatra, yet again, with that Nemesis form, but Poi has found the pick on the flanking for Rudels, and it looks like it's going to be enough to stabilize here on the defense. 2 minutes and 30 seconds counting down, and you only had to use the Reaper to do so.
Yeah, luckily you do have the suffering, you know? You've suffered enough. You've lost 3 maps. You've experienced the server crashing. He's ready. He's ready to pummel. Oh, he pops that really early, though. I don't know about this.
Slapped! He gets slapped!
No value.
A nice hook in from Poi as well. But they do have Poi in a corner, and he gets pummeled to death!
Oh my god, everybody's in a corner.
They're stuck in a small
pummeled.
room. A nice Casino Rush to re-engage here by Pneumonia. And now Fedorma's going to have this ultimate for the final touches.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard touch, because Nuttier's going to have to come in here. He does not get burned down. Strudel is able to help him.
I mean, Poi's back with the Hog, but it's just him against the world. And now here comes the artillery strike. Seven just really tries to do anything he possibly can to shut it down. But he can't, and the Canadian crewmates have dealt the Marshmallow, which is definitely their biggest loss on Kings Row so far this season. This has been their map, their home turf. And
well, they haven't lost yet.
They haven't lost yet, but they seem to always full hold. I'm saying this is the hardest they've had to work if they win.
Well, it's the power of the Rito Raccoons, you know.
The Raccoons rotations.
The Raccoons rotations pay dividends once again. I mean, I love it. So I think what the crewmates are doing well right now is they're kind of splitting the attention of the Marshmallow monsters. Again, the Marshmallow monsters sometimes feel like this one-man army, right? With Poi just kind of killing things, right? And so you don't allow that to happen, and suddenly you look like the better team by a significant margin. As Poi still refuses to switch off this Zarya.
But Vin says, okay, I feel bad for this guy. I'm going to match him.
No, I just stay on the watch. Okay, thank God. I'm losing it, Booty. I need to take my old man meds.
We need to take our schizo pills. We're seeing visions. Yeah. We're seeing Zarya. We're seeing them Zarya mirror in our games. But I mean, this is the comp that worked for them on Lijiang Tower with the Zarya. So I mean, it could work. They just have more damage again than Poi will. Poi's going to get melted.
That's the difference, right? Is they have the damage. They have the consistent damage. So unless Sonic Chronic is getting picks actively, which hasn't really been happening as much this game, it's going to be difficult for the Marshmallow monsters to get past the wall of damage and the literal wall of shield.
Moving on here onto our point A attack of Kings Row. Poi charging forward here has that bubble, but Seven is on a bit of a flank here. They do notice him out, but it doesn't allow some space to be created. Frudels is by himself, the one-man army in the front line.
What is Frudels doing, man? I mean, he's getting bailed out, so he's getting helped.
He was giving Vin charge. Such an easy play for Frudels to set that up, but Sonic Ronic is on the flank. I mean, Frudels is still going further in without his any help, and there you have it. The point A is going to basically be captured here for Marshmallow Monsters. They heard me talking smack. And Sonic Ronic opens it up.
Yeah, and Sonic Chronic did a great job there of taking the high ground, understanding that nobody can really pressure him out on the side of the crewmates, and he kind of just sits there and holds mouse 1 and then right clicks every once in a while, and he
Are
kills
they going back in?
2. Maybe. They did this last time and it did not work
they
out.
didn't
And
touch!
once again, it did not work out. It's
Wow.
a disaster.
Just like you said, this is an absolute disaster.
Yeah. It's maybe that's something the crewmates could work on, because they did that the other day too. Obviously there isn't really much time left in the season to work on it. But you definitely should be understanding when and when you cannot engage there, and they definitely did not in that situation. Again, they're in the Zarya mirror. They've switched off the Bastion. I mean, maybe you need to be just burning down the Zarya now, and I think they've just kind of reverted back to what they've struggled with in the past.
Strudel does have this Casino Rush as well for the following fight. Frutals could potentially negate it with a Symmetra wall, but they just disengage right now. They don't really take the fight, but the DPS are behind them right now, up on the high ground, burning down 7. 7 forced to retreat, but Sonic has come in for the help, as well as Poi, the right clicks from way downtown. Poi has the Ground Surge, might not even need it, as he finds 2 kills of his own with a high charge, 100 charge beam walking in your back line. And that's going to be another fight win after an early Kasuni rush here from Strudel.
Yeah, and kind of illustrates the miscoordination there. They weren't all able to take TP, and then it just felt like Poi was able to walk into 3 and had no pressure on him. We'll see if they're able to recontest here. They haven't had a great track record, so I don't believe they will.
Oh no, I talked that smack. I was like, oh, this is where hard to work for. But apparently they're like, okay, our point B and A are just as good as our defense usually is. So they might cap this with quite a substantial time bank, but this is where time banks do go to die. 7, however, does do the Death Blossom early and gets 1, finds Wiggle. They're going to trade out for him. The Blizzard comes in as well as the wall, and that's probably going to be a fight. They use the Ground Surge as well. They really want to win this fight. Perhaps a swap going through for multiple members.
Yeah, I really would love to see a swap from Vind here, or a Fedora Master. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but unfortunately now they're going up into Grav, up into Overclock. They don't even have Beat yet, which is like a tragedy. Maybe Wiggle Higgle will be able to build it before Grav comes out.
Perhaps 94%. 94% and counting, but one more Amp Peel potentially will be enough. They are going to get it.
There we go.
So they have it poised, looking for it though. He's licking his chops at that grouped up members, but holds on to it. Shows that veteran presence. The veteran holds that ground just a second longer, but the Casino Rush is there to counter out that Graviton Surge. Fedora Master 0-1 caught up in it right now, and now Vin's gonna go in hard, but the counter beat is there from Nutty. Here comes Overclock, goes from Sonic Ronic. Sonic Ronic tries to get anything done, can't find the kill, and Wiggle Higgle, a little too elusive right now. Potentially a headshot here from Sonic Ronic to climb up, and no, we can't get. Somehow the crews are still alive. They're all so weak, however. Vin falls down, and no ult on either side. Now it's just picks back and forth. Fruel's gonna respond with one on a Nutty, but you lose out on the Vind.
They need to pressure out Poi or something. They just aren't getting any value right now.
And they're not pushing out Poi, as Poi is just
over.
melting him down in the spawn. And Strudel has a Casino Rush as well for the final cleanup. Yeah, here it comes. Vin will find Sonic, however, so maybe doable here for the defense as they get the good spawns. But the Casino Rush is just too well placed from Strudel. It covers the entire cart progress right now. Fedora Master almost has a Blizzard, but there can anybody touch just to delay it long enough here for the final moments. Frutals is there. Fedora running out of the spawn, potentially get a Blizzard off, but no, gonna get healed up. Pneumonia is there, but here comes the Blizzard. Pneumonia goes down, the wall comes up from Fedora Master. Nuttier gets frozen up, but can't die. Strudel, the healing is too good from Strudel to keep that Lucy in the fight. Here comes the Wrecking Ball out from Vin, the Big Slam on the cart. 3 minutes and seconds.
They touch Poi! Oh my.
Oh, okay, Sonic Rock finds 2 with 1 shot, and there you have it. And a great offense demands an even better one here.
This can still keep going. Fedora Master's gonna touch.
The beat comes in. Fedora can't touch. Frutals can't touch either. Woo! That was getting a bit spicy
they were about
there.
A quarter second out of losing that fight. Pneumonia came up, and I don't know if he didn't realize he could just immediately TP out of spawn, or if Fedora died just a little bit too quickly. But it was very close to being a much more elongated fight, which probably would have resulted in the Marshmallow Monsters losing. Instead, we have them 3-minute time bank. We'll see if they can continue their dominance that they've had on offense here.
Yeah, I mean, now I see why this is their home turf, why they always go here. We rarely see point B and point C when it comes to Marshmallow Monster and Kings Row, but they just showed that it doesn't matter. They got it scrimmed up. They've got the answers. But Yeah, we're going to see the same attack composition coming out from the Canadian crewmates here with the Ramatra. I'm not sure why the Zarya was the choice on defense, because like you said, they just couldn't put pressure on anybody. His boy was just walking forward.
They seem to have a comp that worked. They were able to pressure out the Zarya, and they switched over. I don't... You know, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. I studied mechanical engineering. That's all I learned.
Most of the time it is broke, sadly, for us engineers, but you know what?
Yeah.
The one time
really,
it works, don't touch it for 20
reality.
years.
Yeah.
Wait, did that code compile? Yes. Don't touch it until...
Don't touch it.
Until your children are software engineers.
This one sleep statement is keeping it alive. Anyway. Let's see if the Ramatra can work again. I hope it will. I mean, statistics shows it works 100% of the time, right?
There's a TP up on the statue, just like you wanted. You called for it yesterday.
Yeah,
you finally got your witch. It could be the last map of the season, but you finally got to see it.
Oh my god, he's running in. Look at him. Pummel, pummel, pummel.
A very aggressive speed in through Hotel, and it seems to work out just fine. As Vince able to get into the enemy lines and use that Nemesis form. Now Poi, bit isolated. I mean, why did you swap off this? I
don't... This team makes no sense. I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't make it to the finals. I didn't even win a game in playoffs.
Yeah, you didn't make it to the playoffs, man. You lost your ticket.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And Fedora's on the tour. Would you like that swap off the Bastion?
No, don't. Just play the thing that you're winning. Stop switching.
Well, no. They saw the Hog and saw Teresa.
I mean, even so, you had better ult charge, right? Like, you had an ult advantage. Erisa's fine, but like, I don't know. I really like the Bastion.
Hook finds nothing out from Poi right now, but the TP comes in behind him.
Great shove by Vind.
That was a really nice shot. Again, like you said, really nice shove. And now Feruza is in your back line, just melting down the opposition. And now this Tor turret is locking out this alleyway as well. So it's a 3v5. They're stuck in the point. Poi might be looking for a bit of a flank angle here, but... Oh, they do get the kill on the Frutals, however, so not done just as of yet, because Poi is all healed up.
This is what they've struggled with the whole game. And right now it looks like they're just trying to get as far as possible, but they've just left 3 members of the Marshmallow Monsters behind them. They need to focus these people down before everybody else gets back.
The wall is out, so you can't shoot this Tor turret right now. Here comes a Casino Rush out from Strudel, tries to keep the team alive. The hook comes in from Poi, we'll find Wigga Hegel. A lot of ults are being exchanged on either side, but Vin finds a Terror Switch, kill the Poi in the middle of his whole hog, as well as the Molten Core out from Fedora Master, but Sonic Rana claims up Fruiterals. So it's just very back and forth on either side right now. Strudel trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Can't touch the cards. No ults right now, but to take advantage here for the Canadian crewmates. But Sonic Ronic has full charge. Ults is overclock. Could be the thing that turns this fight. 100 charge. Can't fight. A big stuff from Vin yet again. Into the corner. Destroys this Tor turret. And here comes the overclock. Seven comes in with the Reaper of the Dead Balls and finds 2. This is this is a slobber knocker of a fight. This is a mess. But finally the DPS for the Martial Monsters shut it down. Was a well-timed ultimates as 7 and Sonic clutch it up there halfway through B.
Yeah, and the Canadian crewmates are having trouble cleaning up the fights. Like, if they don't, they keep getting like 1 or 2 picks, and then they just don't, they can't seem to engage together in order to finish them off. They had an opportunity there. They probably could have full capped second, and they just weren't able to do it. And that's gonna hurt, right? That's gonna hurt in the VOD review later.
The VOD review after the season's over, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, on the defense, I think I know what you want to see, but I have to ask anyway, as part of my contract. What do you want to see the crewmates run on defense?
I'm fine with anything that isn't Zarya. Moment of truth.
Hold on to your butts.
Vin's waiting until I say it on the broadcast. Like, it's not that the Zarya's been bad, it's just that they haven't had success, right? Like, play the things you've been successful on. Force the enemy team to make plays. Like,
go to the Hanzo Sojourn.
I think the Sojourn Torb is pretty good, to be honest. I think it's, again, like what I talked about. You need to be able to put damage pressure on the Zarya. You can just spam her out. And then Ramatra can kind of just run people over. And, like, he shouldn't eye to Zarya pretty much ever. It's a pretty good composition. They need to watch out for Sonic Chronic just taking the high ground from them, though. I'm a little worried about Frutals and the squadron on high ground.
Can they do it? Can the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters break the #1 seed curse and win our grand finals? They are 1.94.58 meters away from doing so, but they gotta crack it open. 7 will take down Fedora Master's turret, so there's a lot of spam damage gone already. However, Poi didn't quite get the dolly he wanted out of his bubble, so they're playing a bit slow right now, waiting to get that final bubble. But here comes a flank here from Poi! 1-5 rules! That's a great opening pick here from Poi. The slow is come down by Vin, but nothing really coming of it just as of yet. Fedora Master goes down as well. That's both DPS down here for the Canadian Crewmates. They're falling apart at the scenes as it's flanked from Poi. Well timed, well executed, and it looks to be paying dividends as Vin falling so weak here in the Nemesis form. Might be able to get out alive, but Pneumonia just pumping every single card he has into him. Not quite going to happen as Sonic Runner cleans up. 7 comes in for the dash resets.
Yeah, and that's not great considering your ult charges, right? I mean, this is going to be a rough situation. Hopefully you can get the close spawn. Hopefully you don't die here. If Rudolph dies, that'd be tragic. You need to be the team engaging with this composition, right? You need to be spamming out and pressuring that Zarya. And they didn't really do that there, and they just kind of allowed space to be taken. So hopefully they can hold here at Archway.
Hopefully they can. They are going to get the opportunity. It looks like the slow was thrown down, but no picks guarded off of it. Strudel chucking those kunai right now, man. Trying to find someone's head with it. Not quite going to do so. Pneumonia is slightly destroying him. I should say slightly beating him in the ult charge. But Strudel is going to use his first here to open up this choke point. But here comes the grab. It's a big one from Poi! The Suzu does nothing except delay the inevitable. But I guess you do get out grabbed, you do get out the Casino Rush, and you don't get around the choke point, so you get one more fight here with 1 minute in the bank.
It's going to be tight.
For both sides. Look at the ult on both sides.
I mean, Suffer, as I have, is a very strong ability. They should be able to get a fight, and assuming he doesn't pop it early, which he did last time, they should be good. You kind of, with Ramatra ult, you kind of want to be in the enemy team, like, fully before you pop it. You want to use your shift to get in, and then use Ramatra ult to get it again.
Here comes the
It looks like they're engaging.
Well. They're going pretty fast here, but here comes the Dragon Blade out from 7. Tries to get one slash, finds Strudel. That's an opening pick there. Finds the second one. The Bone Core is on the point. Fedora Master has found Strudel, but I don't know. Poise very hard charge on this point right now. Another slow comes in. 7 phones ready, but the dash is there on the Vind, and there you have it. I think that could be it. I think the Marshmallow Monsters might have broken it.
They just didn't use their ults.
Oh, there's a
I mean, if they can get another touch here, it'd be huge, but
Wiggle
Higgle's gonna have to beat.
The Ajax to end the season! And the Marshmallow Monsters have won the BOON1E Bowl and have become our champions.
Yeah, that's a hard way to end it, but they did put up a valiant fight. Good on the Marshmallow Monsters, really, doing something unique. Maybe not playing super meta, but they did do quite well, and we had Fedora Master play the game as everybody was in the tiny room getting pummeled.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Mill City Marshmallow Monsters, the first ever #1 seed to win our grand finals in Overwatch League or Aurora history. Congratulations to them. So, you know what, Guku, we have the hard task of assigning a grand finals most valuable player. There are a lot of people you could possibly shout out on the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. They have been so strong all season. Who do you give it to at this point? It's a tough one.
There's a couple standout players for me in this last series, right? I think Strudel was one of them. 7 also actually had some really good moments. Some really key blade kills, some key, everything. But I do think Poi has just been the absolute farmer of this team, right? Like he's getting an average of 3 kills a fight in the fights they win, right? And I think the fact that he's just playing Zarya and forcing teams to work around him is incredibly powerful and probably is well deserved for an MVP here. But I'm curious to hear what you say.
I would have gone with Strudel. I mean, the anti-nades as well as the Kiriko play at the end there, able to keep Poi up and alive in most of these fights. Poi playing very aggressive, and Strudel there to help him out. So I
would say it's your bowl, BOON1E, so you can do what you want.
It is technically my bowl, so that's a tough one. Do I give it to a fellow Ryan or do I give it to a tank player? That's a tough one.
Hear me out. We just give it to Vind.
He played Ramatra. He gets it.
He played Ramatra, baby. Yeah, I mean, Strudel is a really great shout. I think he was the reason they dominated Numbani so hard. His positioning was great, and he just played consistently throughout the entire match. I think.
How about we go ahead and give Finals MVP to Strudel for the support play, but we bring them both in for an interview because it's Poi's first
Oh, yeah.
championship as well.
Okay, yeah,
I think that sounds fair.
that sounds fair.
I tried to move them into production, but they're just not moving.
What the heck is going on?
Well, we got one of them. Okay, now we got both of them. Both of you, congratulations on winning the BOON1E Bowl, on becoming our champions. We decided to give the Grand Finals Most Valuable Player to my fellow Ryan, to Strudel for the spectacular support play. But I wanted to bring you in here, Ox, because this is your first official championship. You know, you did win Season 0, but you finally got the role in the Discord, and you won it in Aurora Season 1. You know, you came close in Season 1 of Overwatch League with the Sweaty Gamers, and now you're here. Full circle. It's completed. Congrats to both of you on the win.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Guku, I'll let you go ahead and ask a support question for our Grand Finals MVP.
Oh, a support question?
I mean, it can be whatever you want, but I'm just saying.
Do you have
know,
any? Strudel, what I think you did, we both noticed it on cast, right? I think you did a really good job of how you positioned and played around the character you were playing in the specific moment, specifically on Numbani when you were playing Ana. You were really, trying to position for those nades, but not play too aggressively, so you weren't in a position where you could get dived or die.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for up-and-coming support players? We have a lot of lower elo support players in this league. Do you have any good tips?
I would say if the biggest thing for climbing on support is if your aim's not good or if your aim's great, that's fine. That's not really big, but biggest thing with support is how you position, because if you are out of position, you can easily be punished by the enemy, but if you are well positioned, you can survive and provide the necessary support. And just knowing where to position based on your team comp, whether you're diving or whether you're gonna need help. A big thing also is just being able to relate to your team what's going on with you and where you're at, and if they need to help you at the same time. So
yeah,
just positioning and comms are really the big thing.
Did you feel like you guys kind of had their number the whole game here, or did you think they kind of put you on the back foot at certain points?
I think when we had when we were playing on maps that we wanted, so the first map, and then Numbani, we were playing more to our strengths, but then on certain maps when they had when they were running Sim and then the Bastion or May, it was kind of on our back foot because it's just haven't really practiced against it, and it's not something you can easily practice against, and they're very well coordinated and playing around that. And it's different than comp when you're playing against it, because in this setting it's they had really good team coordination and keeping each other alive, and the Suzus were monstrous on their team. So
yeah, and I think both of you, Poi, your entire team, you guys played great around adapting to what they were running. I give Poi a lot of shit because he plays Zarya, and I think it's shit. And I think for the record, it was exploited a little bit throughout this match, and I think they did a good job of adapting to it.
Yeah.
But you guys did a great job of utilizing the strengths you have and getting nanos at the proper time in order to allow Poi to pop off and the rest of your team to get space. So good job.
And I'll go ahead and show it over onto Poi. I could give you the standard, how as a tank do you keep alive challenge, but we all know behind a great tank is an even better support player, as well as a DPS making space for you. So I want your personal reaction to finally, winning the Grand Finals, being a champion after all the work you've put in over Overwatch 1 as well as Overwatch 2, playing on a lot of teams outside of Aurora, outside of Overwatch League. You're finally here, you're finally at the mountaintop, you're dominant all season long, MVP candidate. You were part of some of the lowest teams, not to harp on you or anything, but the Rita Raccoons were brought up quite a bit this cast. But you're finally here. You've made it to the mountaintop. I just want your personal feelings and any shout outs to your team or anybody, the Reef, who knows. Just the floor is yours for anything you want to say.
I'd like to thank my mom.
I mean, definitely shoutouts to the team, shoutouts to my friends, stuff like that. Even today before the match, I was just chatting with Rory and just trying to get my mental straight and stuff like that. I would say, like, the biggest emotion I felt, right after we won, was more like relief than joy, because I don't know. I just feel like I didn't play very good like the whole grand finals. I was feeling nerves like the whole time, and they kept on changing stuff up on us. Like they pulled out a bunch of wacky comps, and normally I feel like very confident in like what to do and like what I want other people to do. And today it was like, I guess it was like the nerves, but I was like, I don't know exactly what to do. I didn't know exactly what to do. I was just kind of like trying to think up stuff on the fly, and I had less confidence and stuff like that. So
I mean, they're a weird team to play against, right?
sure,
Is that kind of?
sure. I don't know. I just like, I'm just glad that I won, but also upset that I didn't feel like I put out my best. You know?
Did you guys do any prep specifically for this team?
Dario.
Oh god, don't watch the cast back. Guku was having a good
Yeah.
time with this.
Dude, yeah, I'm down. I'm negative on the Zarya.
Between our semifinals and this, we didn't really have much time to prep due to a bunch of our schedules. So
Yeah, and
kind of just like we knew they were gonna run wacky stuff, but we didn't really have much to practice anything.
Also, like, they only made it to Grands on Friday, which is like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Is there any? You guys were playing, so maybe you didn't see the merch drop.
Oh, we did.
There. Okay. Is there any specific merch you will be looking at or you're excited about? Is there anything you're gonna, cop?
I
As the
might cop a
kids
mouse
say.
pad.
What'd you say? Sorry, poor.
I might cop a mouse pad.
Ooh.
What, you don't like the art paper? Is that not good enough for you?
I don't have an art paper mouse pad anymore. I don't know. I don't really like have a ton of preference on my mouse pad, and if I can rep the league with my mouse pad.
Ooh. I like it. I like it. Sign it. Last question, Booney.
No. Strudel didn't respond what merch he wants.
Well, yeah.
Drip he wants
Sorry.
to purchase.
If I was to get something, it'd probably be like something simple like t-shirt. I don't know what else you guys have, so I'd have to look at that. But also pricing, because finished college and don't have money.
Broke.
So.
That's exactly the what I wanted to hear making a merch line for this college league. We're all broke. Yeah, I'll go ahead and ask you for the final time this season. I'll ask it, of course, to Ryan since he was the MVP. If you couldn't got MVP this match, I'll say you can't get to Poi either because he's already here. Who would you give it to and why?
I'd say I have to give it to Nuttier because honestly, this team wouldn't have come together if it wasn't for him and like him always making suggestions, especially when our DPS players are like a little unsure on what to play. Just giving them more of a definitive answer, and then also having good comms and always having a good idea of what the team should be doing while coordinating with Poi.
The back-to-back. The two-timer.
Ooh.
Nuttier. I'll give my bit of a spiel here as well. You got Sonic Ronic. He's been in the league forever. Always been close, but never taken it. Finally getting his first championship. Then you got those two hungry rookies between Skycer and Seven. Both popped off. Both have bright futures in this league. So I think everybody on your team could have won MVP today. I almost did an entire team interview, but that would have been chaos. So we got down to the two veterans of the team, and we brought you guys in. Again, one final congratulations on winning the BOON1E Bowl and the Ryan Booner Trophy. And we'll go ahead and send you guys
after
back.
this?
I'm good, Julius.
I'm great.
Well, we'll send you guys on your way then, so you can play your comp game. One final congratulations.
Vielen Dank.
Bitteschön. Okay, I moved one of them, but the other one's still here.
What?
Leave.
Get him out of here. All right, so that's going to do it for the match. But we have one final thing to take care of here. The drawing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be giving away a free piece of merchandise. Now, of course, the way this works is if you Twitch Prime subbed, and you're subbed anyway, or used a server boost on Discord, your name was entered into the drawing. If you did multiple things, like multiple boosts or multiple Prime subs, you're entered in more times. So we have the list here. I'll go ahead and throw on this display capture. So the way we're going to do this, I'm part of this list. So I wanted to make it as random as I possibly could. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the randomize button 3 times.
You don't have like a wheel? You're going to use the randomizer?
No,
Just going to pop out a thing?
Hold on. We're not done yet. We're going to randomize it 3 times. From there, the top 5 names are going to go back into the list. And from there, I'm going to repeat that list of 5 as many times as I could bench press 135 to failure, which was 16. So we're going to have the same 5 names 16 times. And the player with the first name wants to do one more randomizer after that 16 list is made will win the merchandise. All right? I tried to be as random as possibly could so I didn't boost my own ego and help myself win. So here we go. Of course, randomize it 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Nort, Rect, HV, Fruitles, and Joe, 1, 2, 3. You are in the finals. We've randomized this. Oh, no! Oh, no! We've lost it. Go again. Do another list.
You've accidentally DDoSed this website.
Fine. You can see my Discord for a sec while I get back into a fresh list. This wasn't planned out at all. I did this completely on the fly, except for the benching thing. All right, here we go. Here's the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how easy this is going to be, though. Bang. 8, 12, 16. Okay, randomizing it one more time. If your name is at the top, you win the merch. Drum roll. HVSec! Yay!
Yay!
I mean, he's also the person who had the most names because he did the most stuff, most Twitch Prime sub, most boosts. So
Balance.
You know what?
It's pseudo-random.
The validation has finally been completed. So, congratulations to HVSec for winning the merchandise. Quick couple things for the admin side, of course. Make sure to sign up for Season 2 if you haven't already. Sign up for the League of Legends if you are interested in that. Make sure to play your games if you haven't. You know, your 7 required games. Make sure to check on the merchandise once it comes out. And finally, from me, this is the first season doing a non-Go-For-Watch League thing, kind of being our own brand. So I thank everybody for playing. I thank everybody for watching, everybody for supporting us. And moving forward, we hope to do the same the same feel, same thing. I think everybody had a good time this season. I hope you did have a good time, and we can come back next season and do it again. For terms of the award show, should be sometime next weekend. Not exactly sure when yet, but be ready for that. Make sure to vote. No, never mind. Voting is closed for All-Star MVP. I should have said beginning of stream. Never mind. Don't vote, losers.
Don't vote. You're done.
If you didn't vote, you don't. No mail-in ballots. Stop the count.
Close the polls.
We have closed the polls. All right. Before I do my outro, Guku, you've been with me the last 2 casts. Anything to say to lovely people at home if anybody's even still watching this absolute garbage after the match is over?
Remember, guys, I'll see you next season, but buy merch in the meantime.
Excellent plug. Well done. You've received $5 in your PayPal.
Thank you. I gotta do it. That's my salary. That's my yearly bonus.
And the final, stay safe, stay healthy, have a great rest of your evening for the season. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.